Cool. gonna go ahead and go live here. We're gonna see what happens.
Just let's just see how it goes. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll just see how it goes. Yeah, we're live now, Jay. So don't say anything. Don't say anything like you just said 1 minute ago.
Oh yeah.
Talking about 230 inches.
49 inches.
Someone might get
49 inches.
The wrong idea. Alright, oh wait, I think the music is really loud, potentially.
You think the music's really loud? I don't know, I don't
on
have it
stream.
on. I just have my
my
own music source.
Yeah, I did not plan to play music, so I didn't really think about how loud it's is the music really loud, guys? Let me know. Chat, let me know. Is the music too loud?
Let's see what they're saying. One Drunk Man, he says hi. He got first today. Technoticlack? Don't know. Technoticlack. I'm gonna go with that. It says first, but no, you were second on my screen. So sorry.
Yeah, no. One Drunk Man is like always first now. Like always first.
Always first. Always first. Yeah.
Yeah, and you think he'd be slower because like he's drunk.
Yeah, but he's quick and he's just always... Or maybe he just never leaves because he's that drunk and he just never gets out of the way and he's just always here.
Wow, that's... I think someone needs to write some One Drunk Man fan fiction. Is Fireworm in the chat? Oh, man.
Mr. Petrov says, Frist. Sure, dude, sure.
Yeah, Mr. Petrov. Big Frist. Very nice, very nice. Anarchy says, wow, first TC I catch live for a change.
Tasty.
Well, hopefully we won't disappoint you too much. This is certainly an odd time of the day for us to stream. Off day and off time, but yesterday was Thanksgiving.
We got to try new things. We got to do new things and try new things. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm interested to see how this goes. I feel like I'm going to see a lot of usernames I don't normally see because I feel like we're going to have a lot of.
You might see the usernames I tend to see on my build streams. That might be what happens.
Yeah, like Bledin. Like who is this guy?
Who knows this Bledin?
Yeah. What is this? Like I don't.
Jay Chef's here though with the 500 fanfic bits. Hey man, good to see you, dude.
How's it going, guys?
Appreciate that. He's like the cuddly guy in the corner that just always shouts good positive words at us. That's what Joshua is. He's that guy. Rabbit Sensei says EU appreciates. Yeah, I appreciate today as well. Like instead of it being 2 AM, it's 9 PM. So I'm sat here with a coffee, able to do a chill show, and then I'll get some sleep tonight as well. Actual sleep.
Actual sleep. Do you know what that is, Jay? I get a feeling you don't know what that is.
Actual sleep is where I get 3 hours of uninterrupted sleep. That's actual sleep.
Absolutely incredible. Oh man, Brian's eyes look tiny in those with those glasses on. These are the same glasses I've had for like 5 years. Maybe
do you always wear them for streaming?
Yeah, no, I wear them like pretty much constantly. If I'm not sleeping or showering, then I probably have glasses on. Maybe it's like the lighting. I don't usually have these lights like pointed at my face quite as brutally as I do now, but maybe that's what it is.
I just realized my camera's really low. Let's tilt it up a little bit. There we go.
Is the music bothering anyone? I kind of feel like we needed some chill music for this chill stream, and I'm vibing with it, as the kids say. As the kids probably still say. There's probably a new term now that I don't know about, but hopefully the music doesn't bother anyone, and if it does, please let me know, and I can turn it off.
Huey's a good judge on this, and he said it's all good, Chief.
Chief.
So
I love when people use Chief or like buddy, pal.
Hey buddy, I'm not your pal.
It is not loud. Okay, cool.
Yeah. A real big boss says, I didn't know Jay got sleep. Oh, I do, actually. The past 2 weeks have been really good because I've not had to work at the day job. So I've just been doing kind of like keyboardy stuff. And I've been getting plenty of sleep. It's been great.
Keyboardy
have
stuff,
no bags under my eyes for a change.
Wow. If it ain't death metal, the music bothers me. But that's just like... Wow, death metal only.
Ooh,
what a guy.
Very nice.
Wave Depth subbing for 4 months. He's on a 4-month streak, and he says subbing to support Jay, never sleeping. Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
I'm pretty sure Jay slept once in his life, but it's been
This past 2 weeks have been great. I've been getting a ton of sleep this past 2 weeks. Like I've been getting like 6-7 hours every single night, which is, for me, that's unheard of. So yeah, it's been really nice.
Nice.
Never stop, never sleeping.
Oh golly. Wait. Who here loved death metal? Pio was saying that if it's not death metal, it's
Pio.
bad. Okay, that's not what he said, but still.
Mr. Petrov says, which one is Brain? Neither.
Yeah, I don't know. You're watching the wrong stream, friend. Oh, man.
This camera's now too high. Hold on. This is the issue with moving my cameras around every week. I never get them back in the right space. There we go. That
looks
feels
pretty
better.
good. Yeah. And I don't even have to recrop anything. What a guy.
Hold on, if I turn it all the way around, you might have to recrop it.
The real question
wait, I'll switch cameras. There we go. That'll mess it up.
That would absolutely mess it up. The real question is, who is Pinky? Says Bledin. Oh man, I think we're both Pinky.
Pinky and the Brain. Yeah.
How are our gracious hosts today? Hopefully gracious. But otherwise, I am very tired and very out of it. But that's just.
It sounds like you had a rough Thanksgiving. Like plenty of alcohol was involved, maybe.
No, I had like a glass of wine. That was the alcohol I had yesterday. I don't really drink anymore. I did eat a lot though. Made some food, ate with
nice.
the housemates. It was a good time.
Cool. Do you not catch up with family or anything else like that?
Well, we have so. I don't know how it is across America right now, but in my state, Washington, we have new restrictions that you are not allowed to go to like another person's house basically unless you've been quarantined for 14 days, like and or tested negative after this much time. So it's been kind of a big deal. There's a lot of people really, really upset in my state right now because they couldn't be with their families. They couldn't, legally be with their families because they didn't meet the requirements to do so.
Sure.
So, a lot of people were totally fine with it, like me. I mean, I understand. Let's kill the virus. I mean, for real. So, I was totally fine with it, but a lot of people very, very upset that they couldn't really have their traditional family Thanksgivings. And I think it's like that in a lot of other states as well.
Yeah, I think it's kind of similar in the UK right now. So we're back into a full-on lockdown right now in the UK, which lasts until the 2nd of December. And the hope for that is that if we have this lockdown now, we might actually be able to go and see our family and friends and loved ones at Christmas. So whilst we might not be able to do it over the next month or so, by the time we get to Christmas, we should be in a good enough position to be able to do that. That's the hope and that's the plan. And they're kind of giving like a 5-day lifting of restrictions over the Christmas period. So right now, we can't do anything, and we then, after the lockdown finished on the 2nd, we go into like a tiered restriction until the 5 days around Christmas, and those tiers determine whether you can go out, whether shops can open, whether restaurants can sell food, all of that kind of stuff. Tier 1 being the lowest and tier 3 being the most strict, and yeah, as of the 2nd December I will be in tier 3, so I'll be effectively just carrying on that lockdown. But we've got to stick with the rules. We've got to try and help people. We've got to protect our elderly and protect our healthcare services. So it's the right thing to do.
Yeah, absolutely. How was it for you guys? Did you guys have very different or strange Thanksgivings this year?
Well, we don't do Thanksgiving in the UK.
I mean, I'm talking to chat. Sorry.
Oh, right. Okay, you were asking
Twitch
chat. Fine.
Yeah,
I see how it is.
I don't care how your Thanksgiving was.
Tell us about your Thanksgiving.
Yeah, let us know how it was. We'll be starting the show momentarily, guys. I know we got the pre-show off a little late.
Mr. Petrov says, unfortunately, my in-laws were still allowed to come over. You love your in-laws, Mr. Petrov. You know you do.
Oh, Petrov. Poor guy. I'm sorry. Not a fan of your in-laws. We don't really do Thanksgiving here in Germany. Well, hello over to Germany.
It's very much a US thing, I think, and Canada.
Yeah,
Does Canada do it as well? I think.
Yes, but it's a different day. I think it's like maybe like a couple weeks ago or like a month ago or something. Someone in chat will know, obviously. But yeah, just a different time, I believe.
Sure. Yeah, I think the closest we do to it is in at this time of year, we used to, I don't know if it still happens, but in primary schools we have something called the Harvest Festival, which is where we're thankful for all the crops growing and everything else, which is very similar to kind of like the ultimate meaning behind Thanksgiving, but it's only ever celebrated by children in primary, like junior school, and that I don't think it goes any further than that anymore. And even that feels like it's a dying out kind of phase. So
Gotcha.
I don't know, but maybe I just because I don't have kids, so I'm not in touch with all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, man, holidays are interesting out here. I feel like everyone is always really stressed at Thanksgiving for one reason or another, and it's weird because like you would think that the whole idea behind a holiday is like you should be happy and thankful and like relax and like have a good time, and I feel like everyone's like, oh, I gotta do all this cooking and I gotta organize this and then all this family's coming in, and it's like it's always like a nightmare for so many people, and everyone's like, oh, thank God it's over. It's like that's a weird way to look at a holiday.
Sure, yeah. Don't you guys have like a big sporting event usually around Thanksgiving as well, or am I making that up?
I think there's like football games and stuff. I'm not a sports person, so full disclaimer there.
Yeah,
but like there's always like football on at the very least.
Sure, yeah.
Oh, sounds like Mr. Petrov's in trouble. His mother-in-law heard.
My mother-in-law just heard that as my laptop isn't on earphones. She just asked if I'm Mr. Petrov. She knows you too well. She knows you too well.
Don't worry.
I hope his volume is still on loud.
Don't worry, Mr. Petrov. We got your back.
Yeah,
we got your back. Yeah. It's not Mr. Petrov. It's not.
Yeah. Mr. Petrov is not in the same room as his mother-in-law right now. He's not.
Oh my gosh. Oh, all right. Should we start today's stream? I suppose we should.
Yeah.
We should get to doing something. That way people aren't bored.
Let's do a little something. Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna swap viewers, and I'm gonna have to fix this real quick. So just pretend that's not happening.
Why are we so small?
That's what you like to hear, Jay. It's not what you like to hear.
I hear it all the time, man.
Yeah,
all the time.
You hate to hear it. All
you get used to it after a while.
Oh, do we? Okay, so the whole premise. Let me roll the intro first. I forgot to do that. I'm gonna do that. Then we're gonna talk about this. Alright guys, hello everyone, welcome to this week's episode of Top Clack. We're doing something a little different, as kind of per usual. I guess every episode's a little different these days. But regardless, I am your host Quakums, joined as usual by my lovely co-host Jay. And today we're going to be talking about some Black Friday, Cyber Monday deals, because hey, it's Black Friday, and there's often lots of deals throughout the weekend. So how do you feel about that,
and we
Jay?
kind of... I feel excited about it.
Do you like
deals?
Some money
do
you like value?
Yeah, I do like good value, and yeah, I think the way we want to do it today, guys, is we've kind of got a few things that we want to share with you and talk to you about, but we also want to see what keyboard-related Black Friday deals you guys have found as well. So we want you to share with us what you found, so we can talk about that as well. So we kind of want to play it a bit back and forth, and we'll show you some things, and you can show us some things, and hopefully we'll all leave a little bit wiser and maybe a little bit lighter in our wallets.
Well, I mean, it's hard to get lighter than my wallet is right now, but I think we can still put that to the test. So yeah, guys, we're going to be talking about some deals today, and let me swap the viewers over. But if you have any nice deals that you found, keyboard-related deals, of course, because somehow this is a keyboard show. If you have any keyboard Black Friday, Cyber Monday / weekend deals, link them in the chat. Let us know, because we found a few, but there's certainly a lot of vendors in the community, and a lot of them doing stuff, and some of them maybe not.
Yeah.
So we obviously couldn't go through everything and every one. So yeah, guys, let us know. Let us know what banging deals you found in chat, because we're curious. We're curious to know.
Absolutely, yeah. Should we make a start on Brian then? Should we start with the first one at the top of our list?
Should we just start with you want to start off the top of that list? Okay, sure. Let's do that. I have all my tabs mixed up, but we'll be okay here. We'll be okay. This is just standard Top Clack jank. We're fine. We're all fine.
Yeah, we were joking when the intro was rolling that it's a bit of a shambles today, and it always is. But that's fine. That's
part of the charm or something. That's what my grandma tells me. The charm.
It's part of the charm. So the first thing we wanted to call out today, guys, is that mykeyboard.eu, if you're in the EU, they have some good things going on. I've alleviated my wallet of some weight today by visiting the mykeyboard.eu site. So I've dropped a link in chat. They've got quite a few things going on. They've got some really nice desk mats that are in stock and ready to ship. The Great Wave desk mats, the Mission Map desk mat from I can't remember the name of the key set. What key set was it from?
Was it Voyager?
Oh, Voyager. That's exactly what it was. But the really cool thing is that they've got two things that are kind of caught my eye. One is that they've got packs of 300 switches, so you can pick between lilac switches, H1 switches, or mauve switches. A 300 pack for just 129 euros plus shipping, which that's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's really good, including VAT as well. That's really, really good. So, yeah, I've alleviated my wallet of some money to try and pick up those. So if you're interested, 300 switches is a lot, right? That's 4 builds depending on what you're building. You can build 3 or 4 boards out of that usually. Yeah. So that's pretty good going for 129 euros.
Alpaca switches as well. So there's four JWK varieties rather.
Different
3
variations,
linears
depending on what you're looking for.
and a tactile. So that's some nice stuff. JWK obviously very popular these days for their smoothness, accessibility, and options at this point. So many different colorways. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool, yeah. And three buying switches in the 300s for someone like me, that's just ideal. That's just perfect. The other thing that I wanted to call out as well is that mykeyboard have just dropped something called the Barleycorn. Now I'm going to drop a direct link to this. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but this is basically a whole kind of keyboard with keycaps, switches, and stabilizers for 125 euros, which is pretty damn good. That's like a holy, grail of packages there.
I mean,
I was really impressed by the price for that. It's just an insane price for all of that.
It's kind of like a nice like entry level kind of kit as well, right? Because it comes with everything. It has that. What is this like through hole aesthetic called? Is there a name for this?
That's exactly what it is, through hole aesthetic. And this is by Yanka, so this is the sequel to the Gingham. So he did the Gingham quite a while ago, which was just the standard 60%, and this one's now more of a kind of mini CP style layout with some arrow keys and a numpad on there as well. Now you can pick up the Barleycorn separately for 90 euros if you want. But yeah, these are in stock, ready to go from what I understand, and yeah, it's just a great price. The Barleycorn's also available on novel keys as well. So if you do want to pick up a Barleycorn, you can pick it up from there. But I'm not sure if they've got it on the site as yet. Let me see if it's up there.
I didn't see it when I looked last, but I guess it could be now.
$115 is the Barleycorn on novel keys right now. So, yeah. I apologize, Garlic, if things are going out of stock while we're talking about things as well. With things that are in stock and on Black Friday, it's really difficult to judge if they're still going to be around. But yeah.
Oh wait, is it under DIY kits? Is that why I'm blind? Okay, yeah, there we go.
I've just dropped the link into chat. There you go. Yeah. But the Barleycorn kit is there. The Gingham's big brother. It's $115, which is pretty good price for that kit. I don't think novel keys have the whole kind of caps and everything else included kit. This is just the keyboard as well, but I think that's pretty good price. That's a really good price.
Yeah, definitely. That's pretty awesome. Gotta admit. All right, what does chat think about that? All the desk mats are out of stock. That's some vendors still have desk mats in stock for a pretty cheap price.
Yeah. When I looked earlier on when we were writing this guide, guys, some of the desk mats were in stock because I picked some of them up, so I know some of them were. I think the Great Wave desk mat is still available on mykeyboard. Yeah, the Great Wave desk mat is still available, and the Mission Map desk mat is still available on the Black Friday link. If you go through the Black Friday link, they're still available.
Yeah.
The other thing to call out as well is if you if you want some cheap PCBs and good PCBs at that, then you can get the Plane 60C revision 2.2. So I think, Brian, you've used a Plane 60C by Martin or Evie, as they're now known. you've used those in the past as well as I have, and you can get 3 of those for just 66 euros, which is a great price.
Would it have been funnier
well.
if it were 69 euro?
It would have been, yeah.
It sounded like you wanted
I don't know
to
where
say
I got
that.
it. I think I was reading 65.99 and I missed the 5 and I read 69 instead of 65.99. I think that's what happened.
Yeah, Jay's got something else on the brain.
I can't blame 2 a.m. today though, can I? That's the thing.
No. Can I blame 1 p.m.? This is awkward for me, right?
It's the middle of your day.
No. It's the start of my day. Don't get it twisted, all right? I stay up late, all right? This is certainly my morning. But joking aside, I completely agree. A pack of 3 PCBs. This is how I would want to buy PCBs as well, because I mean, I go through so many of them that I feel like it's nice to be able to buy them in packs. So definitely not a bad price there. Wave Depth says blame it on the noon beers. I have not had a beer today. Maybe I should. A
noon beer sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, I don't know. Drinking this early feels very strange. There's a reason why I don't do it. All right. Well, as far as mykeyboard.eu is concerned, anything else popping out here? Anything else catching your eye?
No, those are the main things. I think the switches are a really good deal. The Barleycorn is clearly, it's a proven product with the gingham before it, so I think that'll do really well. And you can't argue with 3 PCBs for 66 euros. That's like a great price. That's it's just so cheap. It's cheaper than the DZ60s from Taobao almost. It's such a good price, and they're a great quality PCB designed by a great designer. So why wouldn't you get them?
Nice.
Ooh, very nice.
Thank you so much to a real big boss for subbing at tier 1 for 3 months. Appreciate that, friend.
Yeah, thanks, man. 3-month streak. Wow, nice.
Heck yes. All right.
Ooh, very nice.
Oh, well, on the same vein, Teal Technic, rather, subbing at tier 1 for 13 months. So thank you so much, man. Good to see you, man. Drinking this early is fine. Yeah. That's like a quarantine thing, too, right? Like, ever since COVID started, like, people just, like, drink, like, wake up and drink. I know a few people that have been going a little too hard from that. Anyways, appreciate the sub, my friend. Glad to have you around. What vendor should we check out next, guys?
Ooh,
should we head over to Dixie Mech?
Yeah, Dixie's got a few things going on right today.
Yeah, Dixie. Well, Dixie has a very interesting thing going on. So, if you check out the banner up here at the top, you can see that it's 40% off all in-stock items. Now, I really like deals like this because they're not quite as particular, right? It's more of a blanket deal, and it's a pretty good one at that. 40% off in-stock items. That's quite nice. And it confused me a little bit at first, but you do have to add them to your cart to be able to see the discount. There's no code or anything, but let's say you wanted a GMK 8008 desk mat, normally $25. You can add that to your cart, and bam, all of a sudden it's $15. So $15 desk mats.
$15.
That's not too bad, right?
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Yeah, let's take a look at what Dixie has in stock here too. So, I mean, someone in chat was asking about desk mats, and this is a good place to get desk mats, and I mean, most of them around $15 now. Can't really argue with that.
Yeah, the Mekanisk, the ever famous Mekanisk as well.
Yeah, a lot of good neutral ones. So, I mean, the Mekanisk, the floral desk mat, the skull desk mat, the marble desk mat, the classic Home Sweet Home. This is a Dixie Mech original. Very nice.
Nice. I'm just going to drop a link to the in-stock page on Dixie Mech as well, so you can check what is in stock. That's where all of the discounts apply. So you can even get a Thok shirt as well. So Thok shirt, what does that come out in your basket? $9 for a t-shirt. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Is there an in-stock page, or am I blind?
It is, yeah. You check in chat. I've already posted it, man. I've already posted it in stock.
I'm like trying to navigate like through the site, and I'm just like failing hard apparently. Okay, yes, here we go. Fox shirt, $15 normally, so you can add that to cart, and it's like $9. I mean, yeah.
$9
off.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Shit, I might get one of those actually.
Yeah, you could get a koozie as well if you're going to be having some beers over there.
I'm already rocking. I've been using a Dixie Mech branded
Coaster. I've still got those, from
So
Dixie Centers ages ago.
Back when we were sponsored by Dixie Beck. That was quite a while ago. But love the coasters. Very cool stuff. I should get a koozie too. I might make a Dixie Beck order right after the stream actually. Wait, he has air fresheners? Okay, I'm sold. For sure.
He's had the air fresheners for a while, yeah.
I think I didn't get the memo on that, but that's really cool. Picked up 110 creams from NK last night. Okay, yeah. Check out
nice
Black Friday offerings momentarily. TKC.
Yeah, and Twitch actually says TKC, NK, KBDfans, and Island KB all have Black Friday deals. Yeah, I think there's quite a lot of vendors that do as well. So there's some good stuff out there that you can pick up.
Yes. I totally forgot to add TKC to the list. Yes, we'll do that now. All right. Who else has Black Friday, Cyber Monday stuff going on, Jay? Anything else catching your eye?
Well, yeah, there's a couple of things on the Key.company, which I can see you've already got up. There's a couple of things I want to talk about here, actually. The Black Friday specifically, there's probably two things. There's one thing that is, if you click on the bars on the left-hand side, dude, you can get to the Black Friday thing. Are you there? You're there. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is they've actually got some Team Liquid keycaps. Now, I don't think that these will be particularly well sought after in the mechanical keyboard hobby, but in the esports community, people are going to go nuts for this kit, I think. Like, you know, it's a relatively pleasant and set in terms of colors. The font's not for me, but it's that typical gamery font. But I think that a lot of people who are into Team Liquid are going to be interested in these.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting as well because if you look at the base kit compatibility, it's very minimal, right? There's not really a whole lot going on here in terms of compatibility, and I think you're right. The enthusiast community probably won't care too much about this, particularly because of the way it looks and the lack of compatibility. But if you think about who this is like actually designed for, like esports players, what are they going to be using? OEM keyboards, because they can't actually use customs in competitions. Like that's not even allowed. So I think it's fine to have a standard layout here because that is arguably the target audience. $80, maybe a little bit more than I would like to spend on something with this compatibility, but again,
I suspect there's some really Team Liquid kind of royalties going on in there. I have no idea if there is, but I would suspect there is, and that's probably putting the price up a little bit.
Yeah. One thing I do like to see, though, is kind of like regardless almost of this product, is I like to see crossover between esports and the keyboard community. Not the first time we've seen it, but I do appreciate it a lot because I am a big supporter of esports. So this was something I thought was kind of cool, even though it's not really for me.
Yeah, it's not for me either, but I think it's nice to see that gap between esports and the community bridged a little bit more, and hopefully we'll see more things like that, and hopefully we'll educate the esports crowd into what's actually good. You never know. Yeah,
I mean, an Infinity set's probably a lot better than a lot of the OEM caps that they're already using on their keyboards, so...
Yeah. I think the thing about Infinity as well is that, sure, it's had some issues, but it's coming up in quality. It's getting better every round. Every time they do a set, it's better than the previous one, which is, you know, what you want to see. You want to see that improvement over time, so that's really good. And I can see you've already got the next thing up I wanted to talk about as well, which is Infinity Cafe. So this is in stock, a TKC exclusive, only on TKC, not on any of the regional proxies. But yeah, it's interesting. Langalandia has done it again and come out with Cafe almost as a separate look. There's some slight tweaks and changes to the colors, but more importantly, there's that Arabica kit.
Yes.
This is Arabic sub-legends on keycaps, named after the type of coffee, Arabica. But yeah, that looks great. Like, I think it's almost worthwhile picking up just for that set on its own.
Yeah, no, I was thinking about just picking up this as well. I think that looks pretty fantastic. I coincidentally enough, I'm actually rocking GMK Cafe at the moment on my E Ultra Hot Fiel. And
in slightly different. I'm not rocking Cafe, but I am rocking Arabic keycaps. This is GMK Retro Arabic. So between us, Brian, we have this set.
It's almost like it's a sign.
Like Arabic legends are my favorites. So I might never have got the hiragana and the katakana and everything else, but Arabic sub-legends, I'm there.
Wait, the core kit's sold out already? Was this an in-stock item?
In stock
Am I
only,
crazy?
yeah.
Okay, so you can't even get those, but you can still get the Arabica kit.
Yeah, the Arabica kit.
Or whatever, however it's pronounced.
From what I understand, it was a very, very limited in-stock amount, and it is going to go to group buy at some point in the future, but I don't know when. So
okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Well, there you go. That's kind of cool. Shout out to OEW, who subscribed Tier 1 for 17 months, says good evening. Good evening to you as well.
Good evening.
Hope you're doing well.
Good evening. The Sky is 256 cases. As someone who speaks and writes Arabic, I find Arabic sublegends look bad. I could appreciate that, and so I'm again dropping stuff I probably shouldn't. I'm working on an Arabic set at the minute that's going to kind of change those, but I'm working with people who speak Arabic and write Arabic and read it. So I'm going to try and make sure that we get the legends correct. So yeah.
Heck yes. Oh, what is this?
Ah, Tehe types.
Teha types. Rating with a party of 994. Holy crap. Nathan,
Ooh.
What's up, man?
Hey guys.
Glad
Soren's here. He says hi. Hey Soren. I've not spoken to you in so long. I'm glad to see you.
Oh man. Oh yes. Holy crap. Thank you so much,
So,
Teha. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Man. It's very kind of you.
Thank you for the raid, and thank you for joining, guys. We're literally just talking about Black Friday deals today. We're just having a browse around different vendors in the mechanical keyboard hobby, trying to find out what's out there that's worth buying.
Yeah, we're just chilling. We're just chilling, guys. We're doing a big chill.
Taking it really steady.
Yeah, we're staying hydrated like good people, and we're just browsing some of the weekend's deals for Black Friday and Cyber Monday, and yeah, we're just having a good time, and hopefully your stream was fantastic, Nathan.
Apparently, Tehe Types himself has been saying, "Show us the keybs," so we have to show our keybs. Nice.
Okay, we can do
that. Do you want to flick over the cameras and we can show the guys what we're rocking right now?
Yes, I do.
Go back to the other view and then we can share.
Yep, we can do that.
So I'm using my Juby by Pona with GMK Retro Arabic. So there you go, guys. That's what I'm using.
The Juby is so hot, man. So hot.
Yeah. Apologies, my camera is reversed because of the way Brian sets this up, but there we go. The Jubies.
I can't fix it. I don't think. Is there a way to change it? I don't know.
It's fine. Don't worry. We'll sort it out later.
Oh my gosh. Nuggy Bunny says, coming in from Teja stream. How's it going? It's going well, guys. It's going well. Just chatting about some deals and showing off keyboards. I'm currently using a round, what is this? Round 5 Fiel. This is the new E Ultra Hot color. I don't know if this color is actually shipped to America yet. So this is I might actually have one of the only ones here. But I got
as far as I'm aware, we're the only two with them right now. You've got one and I've got one, and that's it. None of the others have shipped yet.
Yeah,
as far as I'm aware.
This color is absolutely delightful. It's so nice, and I have some GMK Cafe going on, guys, which is nice as well. And people were mad at me because I put Cafe on E Ultra Hot. I think this colorway actually looks pretty nice together.
Yeah, it looks great. Looks fantastic.
For colorblind people like me, it looks amazing. Positively amazing.
Alicon99 says, what's the best Black Friday Cyber Monday deals you've found so far? So recapping really quickly, mykeyboard.eu, they're doing big bundles of 300 switches for 130 euros if you're interested in those. Both Novel Keys and My Keyboard are doing the Gingham successor, which is a F-Rollers 1800 through-hole build, which is $115, or on Novel Keys, or on My Keyboard you can get it as a kit for 135 euros, which has caps and switches and stabilizers and everything all at once. So those are a couple of the highlights that we found.
Yes, but we're still kind of at the beginning of our search, so we're kind of searching alongside chat, if that makes sense. So if you guys have found any great deals too, please link them in the chat, keyboard related of course, and we'll check those out as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the Barleycorn is going to do really well. I think that's going to sell out pretty quickly. So if guys are interested in that, you should jump on it relatively soon, I think.
I'm actually surprised how popular these kind of through-hole aesthetic boards have become.
Yeah, well, I think there's a couple of things about it, right? It's the look and the aesthetic, because you get to see how things are working, which is really cool in itself. And then the second side of things is the fact that you get to build it as well. So you're not just seeing how something works, you're actually working out how it works by putting it together yourself. So it teaches you about, how keyboards work in terms of rows and columns and how things connect to controller chips and everything else. You can actually learn about PCB design whilst you build your keyboard as well. So it's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of a really niche thing, but it is quite beautiful, I gotta admit.
Yeah, and Huey says they're great projects while you wait for your customs, or wait until the new year and buy an Argyle and have a custom with a through-hole design.
Yeah, you get the best of both worlds.
That's the big brain play. That's
the fancy premium aluminum case, but you can also get this, guys. See your diodes.
Yeah, boy.
That's what you guys need. That's what you guys need. All right, where were we at here?
We were just talking about Infinity Cafe. That's where we'd got to. We were just commenting that the core kit and the add-on kit are out of stock, but if you do want those lovely Arabic sub-legends, you can still pick up the Arabica kit for $30, which is pretty light on the pocket. That's not bad for a full set of alphas.
Yeah. So what else? Does TKC have anything else going on here? They probably have some more things in their Black Friday sale, right? Order 4 desk mats, get 1 free.
Yeah. I think they've been doing that for a while. If you order 4 desk mats, you get 1 free. That's
it
pretty good
says it
deal.
starts on today at 3 p.m. Eastern, so it started an hour and 37 minutes ago, apparently.
And they've got quite a few in stock. They've got Boba Series, they've got the Keybiot desk mat. I think they had the Night Runner desk mats as well, and also the Black Lotus ones that ran with GMK Black Lotus as well. So, got quite a few.
Yeah, as well as the Alex Odos collaboration, the Switch Swirl, the DMG desk mats in stock as well, like that.
Yeah, they've actually got a load on the second page as well. So they've got all sorts of ones, the Pixel desk mat ones, Sanctuary Rebirth ones, loads of desk mats. So you could quite easily pick up a few bits and pieces there.
Yes. Man, I don't need any more desk mats. All right, I don't. I want a few of these actually. I gotta stop looking at these.
I know the feeling.
Stop looking at desk mats. Well, if you're looking for desk mats, you can apparently buy 3 and get 1 free here.
Yeah.
Acrylic keyboard stands. Okay, nice.
Ooh, very nice.
Damage Point, thank you very much for the 90 months of subs, man. Really appreciate that, dude. Thank you.
Thank you, Clay. Glad to have you around, man. Hope
is
you're
that
doing
Clay?
Well. You didn't know Damage
That makes
Point
so
was
much
Clay?
sense.
Oh my gosh.
No, that makes so much sense. That makes so much sense.
We're not gonna talk about that. Oh man. Okay. So there you go. Lots of stuff going on at TKC.
D Nasties says, if you don't have a stack like Dixie, you don't have enough. Get more. Dude, I have like, I don't know, maybe 400 or 500 desk mats these days, and they're just the ones I personally own. Is
Teja still in chat? Because he types on like a bunch of them, right?
So he has like 4 or 5 for when he
something?
does his typing tests and stuff. But he actually got a couple of days ago a really thick desk mat as well. I don't know if you saw that, Brian, but he had like it was something silly, like 20 centimeters thick or something.
20 centimeter desk mat.
Something like that. I don't know. Like maybe I'm exaggerating, but it was silly thick. It was really thick.
That's quite something. Curtis Rainbows, thank you so much for the Twitch Prime, man. It's very kind of you.
Thanks, man.
Nuggy
Curtis
Bunny.
Rainbows. That's a great name.
Yes. Nuggy Bunny is asking, which website is this? Might buy a keyboard. This is TKC. This is the Key Company's Black Friday page. I'll link it in chat right now.
I'll drop a link. Sorry, I've got the link. Oh, you've done it already. There we go.
Yeah, I already have the page.
You're too quick for me. You're too quick for me, Brian.
I get that a lot, Jay. More often.
Yeah,
than like.
yeah. I hear so. Yeah.
But yeah, we're not gonna talk about that again. Thankfully. Oh my gosh. All right. What else? What else do we have going on? That's TKC. I did get an email earlier. Let me bring this page up. Zeal PC does have a Black Friday thing going on. As well. 15% off everything.
Which is pretty good, right?
Course,
15% is a huge chunk of money on some of the.
Yes, and he still has the free shipping option if you order $150 or more in US or Canada, $200 or more for the rest of the world. And I know a lot of people like to hate on Zeal switches because they're expensive, but honestly, like when people still ask me like what my favorite switch is or what I think the best switch is, I still default to Zelios and Helios. I think they are still the best switches on the market. Helios still my favorite linears right now, most likely. Zelio V2 definitely my favorite tactile right now still. So even though they're not the cheapest in the world, if you get enough of them, you can get some free shipping, 15% off everything right now. Maybe now is an okay time to buy some.
Yeah, that's not a way of looking at it. I mean, 15% off is it's a nice deal. Zelios V2 is still my favorite tactile switch. Like,
Yeah, it's
they
good.
require little in terms of modification. They're good enough out of the box. Just need a little bit of oil on the spring, and that's it. They're okay. They're probably not the best tactile switch, but like, when you consider the amount of time and effort you have to put into other switches, Zelios V2 are probably my favorite still, and I really like the tactility of them. So I think it's great to see that there's 15% off them.
Yeah. Everyone loses their mind over like Holy Pandas, but I feel like Zelio V2 is just flat out a better switch. I think the tactility is better, more consistent. It's rounder.
It's like
it's way
I
smoother.
really enjoyed using Zykos. I know when we had Mechs on Decks on the other week, we were talking about Zykos, and I really enjoy using those, but I hate making them. Like, I just detest making them. They're expensive. They have a high failure rate. They're just difficult to make. So yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna butcher this username, and I'm so sorry. Tati Haye is asking, what weight would you recommend? I'm partial to the 67 gram, personally.
I like the 78 gram, but
yeah.
I have chunky fingers. So.
It's just personal preference, right? Depending on who you talk to, you're gonna get different opinions. But 67 is my favorite. I think it's the nicest balance. Because of the springs, you can get like slightly different properties in the tactility, just like we've seen on previous Zelio switches. So like depending on which spring you go with, you can get a slightly different feeling switch.
For sure.
But overall, I definitely appreciate the 67 the most. The 62 is also quite nice as well.
Yeah, I think if I had to pick a spring and I was going to swap it and do a spring swap, I'd probably pick 72 gram springs for Zelio V2s. That would be my pick of spring. But if I was buying them from the store, I'd go for 78 grams any day of the week.
Yeah. Have you played around at all with progressive springs or slow curve springs in tactile?
Yeah, I've played around. Yeah, like the slow curve. Just because of the way they work, you tend to find that the tactility hides the fact that they're a slow curve spring. Is my personal belief on those. And the progressive springs, well, you just need it to be super progressive. Otherwise, once you get over the tactile bump, you bottom out anyway. So especially on ultra high tactiles like Zelios V2, Holy Pandas, Zykos, anything that's got a huge amount of tactility, you just lose that kind of progressive spring feel anyway. Some of the lighter tactiles, if you had an MX Brown style tactile, you could probably feel the progressiveness in that. But I do think that we need some really good progressive springs that go for something crazy like 30 grams to get it moving down to 150 grams to bottom out. I think you need something with that kind of range in a single spring. That'd be amazing.
Something much more dramatic than what we currently see, at least. Druaz says, still waiting on Zeal 3-in-1. Is that still happening?
As far as I know, it's still in research and development phase, R&D phase, but it's going to happen.
Yeah, that was teased a while ago, I feel like.
Yeah, it was about 10 months ago, I think now.
Wave Depth says, find you a lover who will build your Zykos for you. Are you offering? Cause...
Hey, man. How you doing?
Jay, you think I'm building Zykos? No way. You're out of your mind.
Chewy, you're around, Chewy.
Yeah,
hey, Chewy. How you doing, Chewy?
Chewy, please. Make us some Zykos. Both of us. Oh, man. So there you go.
Huey says, Vint Gat Clear Springs calling your name. There you go.
Gat Clear? Oh, those are really light, right? Yori OW says, I have a question regarding Gateron linears. So I have a new hot swap with Gateron reds. So now if I like yellows more, could I get new springs for my Gateron red, put them in, and basically have the same result as real Gateron yellow? Or is the material between those switches very different? Well, this as far as like the materials, they should be the same as long as you're getting the same style / generation. As far as spring swapping, you certainly could, but the interesting thing about yellows are they're kind of prized for how unique their spring is, and there are not really a whole lot of other springs on the market that are comparable, I will say. But yeah, I would say instead of spring swapping, just buy Gateron yellows and put them in your hot swap build instead of the reds, right? Because Gaterons are not expensive. They're some of the cheapest switches on the market. And, if you don't have to spring swap, then it saves you a lot of time and effort as well.
Yeah, like 15 cents a piece or whatever those switches are. They're really cheap, and they're bang for budget. Gateron linears, black bottoms, milky tops, bang for budget, best switch on the market.
Yeah.
Only when a bang for budget. Don't say best. Don't take that out of context and say best switch on the market. Yeah. Bang for budget, best switch on the bang for budget, best switch on the market. Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of enthusiasts agree that Gateron Yellows are like the king of value switch in the community and have been for quite some time.
They are. Yeah.
I mean, they're super accessible. They sound good. They feel good. The spring is interesting and unique. A lot of people like it. And they're just so cheap.
They're cheap enough. They're cheap enough that you can harvest parts from them as well. So if you want those Gateron yellow springs, but you want to use them in another switch, you absolutely can do. If you want those milky tops because you like that sound profile, you can just buy them to harvest them for that because they're so cheap as well. Which is something I do quite often. Yeah, just take those milky tops.
Yeah, or you could harvest the springs from the yellows and then put in some new springs and maybe some UHM stems in the remaining Gateron housings. Build another board with that.
Maybe. I'm not a fan of the UHM stems. I've got to be honest. I'm not a fan of those.
That's fair. I felt them in scenarios where I liked them, and I felt them in scenarios where I wasn't quite as much as a fan.
The round 2 lot that I got from Drop were of such bad quality that nearly every single switch was inconsistent. Like there was no consistency across a batch of 30 or 40 switches that I actually put them in. I couldn't get a baseline from trying all of those switches as to what they should feel like, even comparing them to my round 1 ones, which the round 1 ones weren't perfect either, but they were better. So yeah,
I haven't
that was
tried...
my experience with them.
Yeah, that's totally fair. I have not tried the round 2 yet. I only have the round 1s in my possession.
Sure.
Which weren't perfect either. But from what it sounds like, were somehow, ironically, more consistent than the round 2.
Yeah, they were. Yeah,
because at least the round ones were usable.
Yeah, the round 1 was more consistent. Yes. Tactile Wipe says, "How do you guys feel about black inks? I bought a set yesterday. Very excited. Black inks are some of my favorite switches. Like I genuinely love black inks. They were the switch that turned me away from being a tactile fan to being a linear fan. So yeah, I got a lot to say about black inks. I think they did have a bit of a dip with the round 2, round 3 with some loose leaves inside, but they fixed that now, and yeah, they're back to normal.
Yeah, I think
it sounds really good.
As long as you don't struggle with any leaf issues from any of the affected rounds, I think you're going to like them. Gateron inks, wildly popular. When they first came out, man, everyone was using them. They're a very, almost universally loved switch. I find them a little boring, personally, but I think they're, like, fundamentally good.
Yeah.
I feel like they don't have, like, it's a good switch, but, like, it doesn't feel like it has any personality.
Sure, that makes sense.
Whereas, like on the flip side, something like, I'll use Creams as an example, fundamentally maybe has some issues, but that switch has a lot of personality. But, you know, this is the keyboard community. We're just splitting hairs, minute differences, because that's what we do.
That's what we do, man. It's all about those end game gains. That's what it's about.
Pio says round 2 wasn't inconsistent. It was flat out unusable.
I think he means the UHM round 2 stems. Yeah, they were completely
fair enough.
Yeah, like I when I said I couldn't find any consistency, I'm being polite there, because I just couldn't find any consistency across, you know, the 30 or 40 that I tried. Like there was no 2 switches that were the same, and some of them didn't actually actuate as well. Some of them just refused to press. Some of them were just, you know, useless, and yeah, they were not good.
That's unfortunate. Venodium says, "Can we rant a little about how drop pandas are busted?" Oh man, I haven't used any of the newer drop pandas. They're using different materials now, right?
Yes, they are. Yeah, they're using different materials. Yeah, I think if I was going to pick any of the Holy Panda variants out there right now, I'd probably go for the Glorious ones.
Yeah, honestly, the Glorious Pandas, and I've said this before on stream, I truly believe it's the best Holy Panda iteration I've used so far.
And you are the creator of the Holy Panda, so if that's what you say, that's law, right? That's how this works.
I'm not going to say it's law. No, of course it's not law. But I mean, with that said, I would rather use a Zelio V2 than a Holy Panda. So
sure. Mike Fuse says, any major difference between Gat Yellow full milky housings versus Gat Yellow milky top housings? So, so the milky housings, the bottoms are not as nice. I personally prefer the black base with the milky top. Those Gator runs are really nice, and the reason I like that is because I like the sound profile of the milky top. I think that works really well, and I find that the black bases are smoother than the milky bases.
Yeah, I think that's completely true. I think I could be wrong, but years ago I remember hearing that when they first put out the black bottom after the milky version, there's some kind of coating. I think some kind of coating on the bottom housing of the black ones that makes it smoother than the milky ones. Maybe someone on chat has more info on that because it's been years since I've heard about it. But yeah,
but those switches for 15 cents a piece, whatever they are. The black bottom, milky topped Gator on red, yellow, or black. It doesn't really matter which you pick, unless you want a specific spring ratio. But buy some nice aftermarket springs of whatever your favorite weight is. You've got a really cheap switch that's probably cheaper than a JWK switch at that point, and it's really nice. Like for value, they are the budget kings. Those switches are really good.
Yeah, I completely agree. Anyways, back to our search here. What else do we have lined up here?
Should we check out?
This was Zeal's 15% off everything sale. Very nice.
Yeah.
What should we check out?
Where should we jump next? Should we check out Kono? See what Kono have got going on?
Sure.
I think they've got a banner at the top of their page for Black Friday
sale. A couple things going on. Yeah. Actually, I'm gonna be honest. I was a little let down when I saw Kono's Black Friday sale. It's okay, but it's quite limited. So pretty much, at least in this Black Friday section for the weekend, they have some hex gears options, which is kind of cool. If you're looking for like more of an entry level keyboard, maybe you're a gamer and you want something that's less expensive than a lot of customs. Some of the hex gear stuff could be totally for you. They do have some desk mats for $10 though, and
the pattern print desk mats. The buckling spring one is pretty nice actually. I kind of like that desk mat.
Yeah, that's actually pretty cool. They have other desk mats as well. That are marked down to $10. Oh, the Yugo desk mats are sold out. Darn it! I totally forgot about that set. I bought that set. When is that set supposed to ship?
I have no idea. Man. They've got the copper desk mats as well. They were really nice. The spirit desk mat I remember being quite nice as well. Oh, the pre-pressed desk mats. Yeah, I like that. The splatter one is really good. I might have to buy that.
Oh yeah,
they've got a lot of desk mats.
That's pretty interesting. Wait, some of these are not marked down. Am I crazy? Only some of these are on sale.
Yeah, some of them are not marked down. Yeah, some of them are and some of them aren't. I think you have to click through. The copper ones are marked down. The Fuyu ones, GMK High Voltage, GMK Hero, GMK Spirit.
Copper, Hero, and everything above it are on sale. Everything below it not.
Spirit is marked down as well, which is beneath both of those.
You're right.
Yeah.
As usual, you're right. I'm wrong.
I'm always right, Brian.
I'm gonna go cry
that's
in a corner now.
What we've learned.
Well, there's a reason I like you, Jay. Oh man, how is shipping to the EU? From Kono?
It's okay, is what I would say, but bear in mind that depending on where you are in Europe, you're probably going to have VAT and import fees to pay on anything you buy from Kono as well. So we are very much checking out EU providers as well as US providers. Kono is pretty much a US provider, but if you can get 3 or 4 people to club together to try and buy a few different things, then it might work out more beneficial to you.
Yeah, we did check out mykeyboard.eu earlier, and they had some desk mats going on as well, if I recall.
Yeah, they've got some good desk mats. Yeah, they've got some nice ones. Thoughts on Tomasi says thoughts on GMK Amethyst potential sleeper set. So Amethyst is actually pretty nice. I kind of really like the set. I think it'll do pretty well when it gets into group buy. I don't know when it does go into group buy actually. I'm just trying to look for it now. Is it already in group buy?
Amethyst? Yeah.
Oh, it's already live. Yeah, it's already live. Yeah, I think it's going to do really well. I'd be surprised if it didn't. It's nice. It's nice.
Yeah.
If it had better ISO support, I would have bought it.
I don't know. I'm probably not going to get it, but I think the colors are fine. I like that it has a dark option too, normal base. And
I'm surprised that it's only sold 208. The fact that it's halfway through the group buy period, it's only sold 208 base kits. Oh well, 313 base kits if you count the dark base as well. Interesting. Okay.
Why is maybe I'm just stupid, but why is the dark base kit more expensive than the normal base kit?
It's a lower MOQ, so they've targeted
okay.
175 or 150 MOQ for the dark base set, and they're doing 250 MOQ for the light base kit.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, there we go. So that's what's going on Kona right now.
Yeah, so D Nasties says, when do EU people pay VAT for an item, at which step during the shipping process? So it can occur at 2 points. So it's either when the courier takes delivery of it into the EU. So say you've shipped with DHL and it's got to the EU and it goes through your imports or customs in your country, depending on which country you're in. Sometimes you will get a bill at that point. So from most shipping companies, so DHL, Yodel, DPD, most of the big shipping companies, you will get an invoice at that point to pay your VAT and customs. There are a couple of exceptions to that, which is usually FedEx and USPS. FedEx will actually deliver the item to you and to your door, and then you will get a bill 2 to 3 weeks later for the additional customs fees. UPS does it slightly differently in the fact that they will come to you with the parcel in hand and they will say, give me some cash right now and you can have your parcel. If not, I'm going to walk away with it. So, yeah. But that's usually when it happens.
Quite a choice.
Yeah. It depends on the vendor, but that's where it happens.
Quite a few questions in chat actually, which is great. We love answering questions.
Yeah, ask questions. Yeah.
Yeah, no, feel free to ask questions. We do tend to have a Q&A section towards the end of our stream after our sponsor segment. Right now we're kind of just going through some Black Friday, Cyber Monday deals. But we'll try to answer some questions along the way. But if your question doesn't get answered, don't worry. Feel free to ask it again during the Q&A section, and we should be able to get to it a little bit easier there.
Yeah. I see the containment unit saying, where is the Rama keys? On other vendor counterparts, I saw Ramas. I'm not quite sure which site or set you're referring to, but if you let us know, we can answer that in the Q&A section later.
Yeah.
Wave that says, when you say more ISO support, what is lacking? Just curious as an American who isn't familiar with ISO requirements. So it's not massively different. There's kind of three different trains of thought on doing ISO. You can either give basic coverage, which gives you the keys to cover an ISO layout, even if they're not relevant to your particular version of ISO, because ISO is different in the UK to France to Germany. It's different whichever country you go to. So you need kind of like 4 keys for that. You need a split left shift, a 1U in a row 4, you need a 1U in row 3, and then you need the ISO enter. Those are the 4 keys you need for ISO coverage. The other variants are kind of like extensions of that. So then you can have ISO UK, for example, which is the second largest version of ISO after just physical coverage, which actually gives you specific keys for those row 3 and row 4 caps, as well as another row 3 cap and 3 row 1 caps as well. Then you also have Norder kits and other kind of Euro kits, which try and do all of the other plethora of languages, so German, Spanish, French, Portuguese, whatever, you name it, and those are usually called Norder kits, and they add anywhere between 15 and 50 keys depending on which one we're looking at. So there's different tiers of getting to the right coverage for ISO, but it's about language coverage more than anything else.
Yes.
And there's some other flavors of caps in there as well. So like Alt-GR at the right-hand side of your spacebar instead of just standard Alt. That's kind of like a European thing as well. So there's loads of different like subtleties to it, but it's basically just about giving you 4 keys for coverage, which is what you see in GK Amethyst, versus giving you specific language compatibility.
Yes. All right. Anyways, back to some deals. That's what's going on Kona right now. Some cheap desk mats, which is pretty cool, and some relatively inexpensive entry-level OEM keyboards as well.
Yeah, I think I'm going to get that patent print buckling spring desk mat, I think I'm going to get that.
Yeah, $10, not too bad.
Yeah, it might be coming to you, Brian, to come to me, because I think you've already got something on the way to you from me as well.
Probably. But who knows, maybe they'll get lost along the way. Just.
Oh, right, okay. You were supposed to get them that mod set for me a couple of weeks ago. I don't know if you've got that yet.
The mod set?
Yeah, Ceresia mod set, I think it was, or Pink mods or something. It was GMK mod kit.
I don't think Jokes aside,
Oh,
I don't think that's I don't think that's
we'll talk about it later.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
We'll talk about it later.
Also, I don't know if you noticed, Jay, but aside from the buckling spring desk mat, there's also a toy water gun desk mat.
Yeah. I'm not sure how I feel about that one.
That's
like,
so random.
It feels like a weird thing to have on a desk mat. It's the first model of the Super Soaker, right? Yeah, it's the first Super Soaker, I think.
Is it? It could be.
I think so.
I'd
have to Google it to check, but I think it looks like it, yeah.
No, it's got to be something else, because this is 99. I was playing with Super Soakers in, like, the mid-90s. Anyways, well...
Anyway, it is what it is. Whatever.
It is what it is. What vendor should we check out next, huh? We got.
How about we check out KBDfans? How about we have a look at KBDfans?
Okay, let's go to KBDfans. So I think this is pretty much what they did last year as well, where they don't necessarily have like things on sale per se, but you can get a bunch of discount codes that are listed here, and these save you a fair amount of money as well.
Yeah. I mean, if you spend $220, which is pretty easy to do if you get certain things, $50 discount, that's pretty hefty. That's a pretty large discount.
Yeah, that's pretty good. So, interestingly enough, right now, I'm going to try to make sure I find the right place for this. Because I didn't have it linked beforehand. Come on. New arrivals. They have KBD 8X Mark II. Oh, here we go, yeah. So they have the KBD 8X Mark II. They have a few in stock. And I think they... What's kind of funny is before the show... When I was looking at these, they actually had some of these colors in stock, but they've sold out since. But they do, which is like almost just like, you know, normal for the show these days. But they do still have a couple of the more expensive versions in stock. So the E-White, the Ink Black polycarbonate, and the Clear polycarbonate are all still in stock.
Yeah.
But they do start at $389. But if you use one of those coupons to get $50 off, you know, all of a sudden you have a pretty decent, you know, TKL for a pretty reasonable price, considering, you know, most custom TKLs crest that $400, $500, $600 price without a whole lot of effort.
That $50 off, that's your switches and your stabs sorted, right? That you can put that towards your switches and your stabs kind of budget, and you've got them for free effectively at that point. That's pretty good when you think about it. And that Ink Black polycarbonate KBD 8X looks pretty good. Like, I'm kind of tempted on that. Yeah,
and getting $50 off, that's not too bad. You know, it might not be the greatest TKL of all time, might not be the greatest custom of all time, but, you know, as far as, you know, customs go, it's a nice mid-tier custom, and the price is pretty reasonable. In a space...
All the $50 coupons have gone, so Expeditious is saying that all of them have gone. Whoops. Okay, fair enough.
Are they gone?
That's the thing with this kind of show. Yeah.
Oh, I see. There's quantity of that one, but these ones are unlimited. Okay.
Yes, they're unlimited. Yes.
Okay,
so it's not as much. So over 250, you get $25 US.
You use a $25 USD discount for that, then.
Yeah.
Okay. Man, that's a bummer. I wish they had more codes, but hey, could be worse, I guess. So yeah, that's I'm pretty sure that's what they did last year. That's what they're doing again this year. So there you go, guys. That's what's going on in KBDfans Black Friday.
Yeah.
Who else?
It's a good way of doing it. I like it.
Yeah. Any deals that you guys have found in chat? Have you guys found any vendors or deals that you find particularly good this weekend? I know a lot of vendors are doing things, but we're curious to see what you guys have found as well, because, you know, we have not gone through every vendor. Also, I just realized the lighting on me is very strange because my window's open and the sun's finally peeking through.
You have sunshine in America? Wow, we don't have it here in the UK.
It's probably not going to be for very long. I mean, it's going to go down in like an hour and a half. It's just a break in the clouds, apparently.
Saiku is saying, I see some tangerine switches from TKC. Would you recommend those for someone who's never tried linears? I'm currently using drop Holly Pandas. Thanks. Yeah, so I don't mind the tangerines as linears. I've got a couple of hundred of them just sat to one side ready for builds because they're pretty solid linears. Pretty much any JWK linear is going to be good for most people. They're not the top tier of switches, they're not the upper echelon, but they're good enough. So yeah, I think they're absolutely fine to buy in. You know, lots of people really like the tangerines for both the colorway and for the way that they feel and sound. So yeah, I don't think you'll be disappointed in them.
Yeah, completely agree. you guys covered a lot of it, almost all of it, I think.
Yeah.
There's
so
some other
the Skies 256K drops a link to Desk Hero.
All right, here we go. Canadian vendor.
Yeah. So what's he got going on?
PBT Islander. It looks like.
Yeah. So it's the Infinity PBT Islander set. Yeah. Okay. So he's only got the desk mat bundle, I think here. He's got the first class ticket, which is the main key set as well. Base novelties and Island Hopper for 250 CAD. That's pretty good. 250 CAD is like $5 US, right?
Actually, how much?
It's getting close, isn't it? Yeah.
How much did PBT Islander cost originally in Group Buy?
It's 250 CAD is 187 US dollars. There you go.
Okay, so for $187, you get base plus novelties plus what is Island Hopper? Is that a desk mat?
It's the desk mat. Yeah, it's the desk mat.
Okay.
It's pretty good.
Which
not bad value.
That's true. That's true. Were there issues with the desk mat, or was that just some of them?
So the desk mats did have some slight color issues.
Color.
Yeah, so I think that'll be called out if these are the ones that are affected. I'm pretty sure it was all of them that were affected. So no, desk mat colors are slightly less vibrant than the renders. They're not too bad, to be honest. Smiley face is what he notes on the listing. So there you go.
All right, well there you go. Glad they say something about it. That's pretty cool. So
yep.
$180 something US.
$187 for the base kit, for the novelties, and for the desk mat. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that's. I don't know. To me, that still seems kind of expensive, but I don't really recall how much it was in the actual group buy. This is an Infinity set, correct?
Correct. Yeah, it was the first Infinity set. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Is that a good deal, chat? What do you guys think? I'm curious. To me, it doesn't seem like a particularly good deal, but maybe I'm just that blinded.
Maybe.
Well, I mean, we already know I am. So it looks like that's pretty much all they have going on. Just a couple of the Islander options. So pretty small Black Friday sale going on here.
Yeah, that seems to be all they have going on there. Yeah. Anywhere else you wanted to check out, Brian?
Well, let's see. We had another Canadian vendor, Apex Keyboards. They have kind of a small sale going on. You can get a couple dollars CAD off of a lot of their in-stock stuff. So if you're looking for lube, switch openers, very basic stuff, maybe some stabilizers, films, that kind of thing, might be able to save a couple dollars here if you're in Canada. So that's probably worth.
Yeah, I like them. I like them pink switch films. Actually, they're really nice.
Yes.
I didn't realize you could get the TX ones in pink. That's kind of nice.
Yeah, there's quite a few colors now too, right? Yeah. This yellow, green, orange, clear, black, white, red, blue, purple.
Yeah, they've got hyperglide switches. Oh no, they're sold out. I was going to say they've got hyperglide switches in as well, but they're sold out. Purple.
Oh, the new cherry hyperglides. I'm interested to try some of those out, to be honest.
We should hit up Cherry and see if we can get hold of some.
Cherry will probably just laugh at our face, but yeah.
Who are you guys?
Yeah,
probably.
Top clerk? Excuse me? Top keck, sorry.
Jonathan says, why switch films? So switch films are used for a number of different reasons, but effectively when you take switches apart, you kind of ruin the tolerances between the top housing and the bottom housing, so they don't ever quite fit together as well as they did before you took them apart. So what putting the switch films in does is it helps tighten those tolerances up, and for certain switches it will change the sound profile of the switch a little bit and make it a little bit deeper. It will make the switch a little bit stiffer in terms of its rigidity, so you get less wobble on the keycap. And some people like them for aesthetic reasons as well, because they like to see a little bit of sticker poking out from either end. So there's a few different reasons to use them. I tend to use them in quite a lot of my switch modding these days. So yeah.
I wouldn't say every Switch needs to be filmed, but a lot of the JWK stuff, for example, which is, you know, ridiculously popular right now, they definitely can benefit very highly from Switch films in particular.
Yeah, absolutely. He also asks where he can buy foams. I'm not sure which type of foams you mean. You could mean foams for between underneath your PCB and plate assembly, in between your PCB and plate assembly, or other uses as well. So if you let us know what type of foam you mean, we can take a look at that and help you out.
Yes, absolutely. All right, there you go. So there's ApexKeyboards.ca. That's their Black Friday sale. Save a couple dollars on some basic stuff there. Lots of colors of TX Switch films. Nice, nice. All right, what else do we have? What about Kibo? Is Kibo doing anything?
I haven't had a look. What can you see on there?
I'm looking through now. I don't see... Oh, wait, here we go. Top of the banner. Black Friday pack sales. Use coupon code BF2020. All right, so got some sales on lots of stuff, it looks like. Arctos switches. People use these still?
Not if they can help it. I could never give my Arctos switches away. Remember when we got samples of them ages ago, and I could never give them away? That was quite funny.
Might still be one of the worst switches I've ever used. Nothing against Kibo, of course, but yeah, Arctos, not a fan. So some LEDs, aluminum cases, 4750. Some low-profile aluminum cases. Okay, that's fine.
Some reasonable beginner items, I guess.
Some reasonable beginner items. I'm not really seeing anything that seems to be like very much on sale though. Everything seems to be like fairly normally priced. I mean, Gateron switches for 28 cents.
Seems a little bit on the high side.
$5 flush cutters. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really seeing anything pop out here and grab my attention. They have thick Switch films.
That's fair.
All right, yeah.
Thick Switch films.
What about Novel Keys? What is Novel Keys doing right now?
Yeah, let's check out Mike. What's Mike got going on? I know we've already talked about the Barleycorn that Mike's got going on, which is good.
Okay, so he has some info and presumably stipulations here on some of his Black Friday stuff. I have not read this yet, so I apologize because I'm kind of trying to scan over it now. NK65s, okay. Small amount of kits. They're probably all sold out if I had to guess.
I think they're already gone, yeah.
There were... Oh, interesting. So check this out. He had not only A stock units, but B stock and D stock units. Very, very interesting. So you could get B stock entry levels for $85. I don't know what a D stock particularly entails. I'm sure it says.
So he says, yeah, these are untested returns of all types and colors of NK65s. These should be considered not working and needing repair. PCB issues and case defects should be expected. So this is the kind of like brown box stuff, you know, that someone's bought, they returned back to Novel Keys, and Mike is saying, look, you can buy it really cheap, and if you can get it to work, that's on you, you know. So I think that's fair.
That's actually kind of cool. I mean, if you're like a tinkerer and like you kind of know what you're doing, and you might know how to fix a PCB, or you might not care about case blemishes, you can get an entry level for $25.
I mean, they're sold out now, but yeah, you could get an entry level for $25. That's pretty good. I mean, it's worth that just for the case and the hard carry case that it comes in, right? So
yeah, exactly. I'd pay $25 just for one of those. That's pretty cool. I like that. So I'm gonna assume like everything is sold out, right? Do they have a section for their Black Friday stuff?
Yeah, so there's links to various parts of the site. Yeah, so in terms of the key sets, they don't really have much left over. I was hoping to get a Vostok, but I seem to have missed it. They've only got the Latin alphas and the novelties left over. They do have some Midnight Rainbow Decimat extras.
Oh, here you go. Half off springs. Now that's what I like to see. $4 packs of springs. And I like Novel Key springs because they have really interesting weights that you just don't see anywhere else. 39 gram, 56, 74, 89. I like that. There you go. There's one of my recommendations.
Nice.
$4 springs. You'll love to see it. Switch. Okay, switches 15% off. Desk pads 25%. Extras of keycaps 5% off. 15% off lube. Okay, so pretty nice sale actually, all things considered, coming from Novel Keys. A lot of things covered there.
Yeah, I'm really, really tempted to get one of those Sugar Skull desk pads as well. I know we talked about it a while back on the show a few weeks ago, but the Sugar Skull desk pad they've got is really nice. I genuinely like that.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
That's yeah.
It's something. Yeah, it's not for you, Brian. I
it's
know,
not
but
for
I
me.
like
it's
it.
not for
I
me.
like it.
But I can appreciate it. Most of the desk mats, it looks like, have sold out already. Not terribly surprising, I suppose. 15% off switches. What do we still have left over here? A lot of these are probably sold out as well.
KL Speed, KL Pros. If you like that. If you want some clicks, I've got the box stick clicks up. Big switches as well. If you want a giant switch, that's not a bad thing to buy.
Giant switch, yes. Wait, do you mean the big switch?
The big switch, like the huge,
okay.
The huge ones. They've still got some creams in. It says so you can still buy batches of 70 creams. You can't buy 90. You can buy 110, so you can buy 70 or 90 creams. They've still got some Silk Series switches in.
Do they?
Yeah, yellows and
nice.
black in 70 counts, 90 counts, and 110 counts.
Nice.
But they don't have any reds, I'm afraid.
I wonder if that's because no one was really buying the reds when they stocked them initially. I wonder if a lot more people... Because I would expect a lot more people to go for the yellows or blacks over the reds.
Yeah, maybe. They've also got the new Kangaroo ink switches as well that you can get in stock. They've got those in 70, 90, and 110 counts. I haven't gone through all of the black... black inks are still there in 110 as well. So there's still some ink switches in stock as well. So you could always check out the inks.
Okay, yes.
I haven't tried the Kangaroos yet.
They're not totally sold out. Yeah, I have not either, I gotta be honest. What's the... Let's see what the specs of the Kangaroo are like. I know I've heard about this switch. Okay, yeah, so it's the short travel distance. This is a really interesting travel distance. So for those of you that aren't aware, the standard travel distance for a typical MX switch is 4 millimeters. A lot of the speed switches, the speed variants that you see are 3.2 millimeters. Kale has quite a few offerings that are 3.4 millimeters. This one is 3.5, so this is kind of interesting. 3.5 bottom out, 1.5 millimeter actuation. So this is going to be a slightly short travel distance switch, and it's going to be tactile. So this is going to be kind of interesting.
Yeah, I know that Theremin Goats talked about them as PO is saying in chat. I think he mentioned that I'm going from memory here, so I'd have to check Theremin Goats right up. But I think they basically feel like a short throw T1 is what I understand.
I could see that. I could totally.
So it's kind of like a really quick snap down as soon as you hit the tactility, and then because it's such a short travel, you bottom out and then you're off the switch, and it's like a quick fire tactile.
Yeah, which is kind of interesting, and I wonder if a lot of people would like this, because one of the redeeming qualities of Holy Panda, one of the most popular switches in the community, is that ridiculous clack when you bottom out, and the reason you get that is because the extended pull on the Kale stem. The Kale stem that is used there is not designed to bottom out at 4 millimeters, like the housing that it's in. It's meant to bottom out at 3.6 millimeters, I think, 3.4 or 3.6. So because of that, you have the extra long pull, which is how they achieve the the shorter distance, and that's why it just smacks when you bottom out there. And a lot of people really like that. So I'd be interested to see how this one lines up as well. Maybe I'll pick some of these up.
Yeah, absolutely.
70 count.
Yeah, I think I might. Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta try this. This is interesting. 65 gram and bottom out, pretty standard looking spring. All right, interesting.
Nice. And of course, they've got the Barleycorn as well, which we talked about earlier on, $115 for a through-hole F-rollless CP style layout. It's pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. So alongside that, apparently they had a restock of some keycaps as well. Livia Plus, Analog Dreams, Froyo, Boba Fett, Crimson.
Yeah, I was hoping for Analog Dreams, man, and it's all sold out. I'm so sad about it. I really desperately want a set of Analog Dreams. I'm sad that I slept on the group buy for it. Oh well, man. Such is life.
Do they have... Where... Are the links just not even live for the key sets anymore?
Yeah, so if you're on that page that you're on now, so you can go onto the key set extras page. It's grouped by extras on there.
Oh, okay.
All extras keep caps 5% off.
What do we still have in stock here? Or do we have Violet on Cream? This is an underrated set.
Only the Fortis kit. Only the Fortis kit is available for Violet on Cream. Darling, I think it's the Alpha Remnants, was it? No.
We're looking now. I'm already committed to this.
Oh, it's just the extension on GMK Darling. Just the extension on GMK Darling.
Okay. What else? What else we have? Froyo. Is Froyo in stock? Froyo not in stock. So you must have sold out of this stuff pretty quickly.
Peach Blossom. If you want Peach Blossom, you can get pretty much everything apart from the base kit and the Rama Artisan. So there's no base kit there, sadly. But
oh my gosh. Yeah, this is people have pretty much picked this clean. It seems. You can get Greek Beige for a couple dollars on sale. That's not bad.
Greek Beige is underrated, right? Anyone who owns 9009 or OG camps should own Greek Beige IMO. It's a thing.
Even the ortho base of SA Fluffy Cloud is sold out. Man, people, you guys pick this place clean. This is crazy.
It's crazy, right?
You can save a couple dollars on the GMK RGB add-on. There you go. That's kind of cool.
Nice.
Is Vostok? No, Vostok sold out. All right.
Base is gone. Yeah. The RGB add-on kit's nice as well. I think I'm probably going to pick up a set of that. I know that the EU vendor's got some of that left, so I'll probably pick up a set of that.
You can get Midnight Rainbow desk pads.
Do you want to hear a really funny story about the rainbow version of that desk pad?
Sure. Regale
So
us.
the rainbow version of that desk mat. So both those desk mats had to go with GMK Midnight Rainbow, which I was behind the key set, and I wasn't behind these mats particularly. I was speaking to Corey and Wendell, who work with Mike at Novel Keys, and we were talking, spitballing about ideas for desk mats. And I was laid in the bathtub in the hot water, having a nice relaxing soak, and we were just chatting on Discord, and I was on the iPad just chatting away. And I came up with the idea for that particular mat, and it's like have the rainbow stripes on the side. And Corey said, "Can you draw what you mean? I'm not quite getting from text what you mean." So I drew a version of that desk mat in the bathtub on my iPad screen and sent it across to him. And they only went and had made the actual version that I drew with the wavy lines everywhere instead of straight lines and everything else that I made in the bathtub. They actually had it made as an actual desk mat, and they're going to send it to me at some point. So if anyone does want to see that, ping me in Discord and I will share pictures of the in the bathtub drawing and the actual real life version of that mat. And then, of course, Corey and Wendell tidied it up to that version.
I think if it involves you and the bathtub, we all need to see. We all need to see.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not a picture of me in the bathtub. It's just a picture of what I drew while I was in the bathtub. But yeah, I'll even screenshot the conversation where I said, "I'm in the bathtub, but how about this?" It's quite funny.
Oh my god, J Bathwater win. That's the real question. I feel like a terrible streamer because I haven't looked up at chat in quite a while. I'm trying to catch up a little bit now, though. Alex Odos, thanks for hanging out, man. Glad to have you.
Hey,
now.
man. Hey,
he says, I think it was all gone in the first 20 minutes, and I think he's referring to the Novel Keys sale. Not surprising.
Yeah.
I think Novel Keys probably the best overall sale that we've seen so far today. We've checked out quite a few vendors now. It's a good one. It's a good one.
And just while we've got Alex in chat as well, I just want to give a quick shout out to him because him and Max F are arranging a bit of a charity event over the weekend in terms of streaming as well. I'll be taking part in the Top Clack channel between the hours of 12 and 4 on Sunday to join them. But yeah, just want to give a big shout out to Max and Alex Otos for doing that as well. So yeah, check it out over the weekend, guys. Definitely check out their channels.
Yeah, both phenomenal people. Very, very kind, very wholesome, very helpful. Definitely worth checking out.
Yep.
All right. Are we missing anything on Novel Keys? Is that pretty much everything? Man, I'm bummed that the D-Stock entry levels are sold out. I totally would have picked up like 2 of those and just played around with them. What a bummer.
Yeah, I wanted the Analog Dreams and I slept on that, so oh well. It happens, man. It happens.
We're bad at keyboarding, man. We're terrible at this.
Hey, man, it's been so long since we've done like a news show, and this kind of feels like because getting back into that old news show kind of situation a little bit in a way,
Sort of.
covering what's on different sites,
actually,
things like that.
It's
but in a nice way.
It's really interesting that you say that because I'm looking at chat right now, and Deathgale has a question for us. Could you guys give a quick look at the Tsukiyomi group buy tomorrow? Where's that at? We could do one for old times' sake.
we could, but I can't comment because I'm a vendor for it.
Are you the
yeah.
UK vendor? Okay.
So it wouldn't be fair for me to give personal opinions on it. But sure, Brian, you check it out and you give some thoughts on it. Yeah.
Vintage top clack.
Vintage top clack. Yeah.
Keep in before everyone runs away. All right. Interest check for Tsukiyomi. What is this? This is the keyboard. I haven't seen this at all, guys. So these are about as raw as impressions as you could have.
Raw opinions. Yeah, nice. That's what I want. I want to hear your opinions.
65 plus macro column. Okay. Tsukiyomi. Ski means moon.
It does. Yes, I learned this. Because I'm approaching the board. I had to learn this.
I don't actually know what Tsukiyomi means. Does that mean infinite moon or something like that? Does he say it in here?
I think it means like everlasting moon or something like that. I think from when I was researching my stuff, from
my
what
Japanese is
together, it kind of like means the never-ending moon, that kind of thing.
Yeah, my Japanese is a little off, but I appreciate. I like the word Tsukiyomi. 65% okay, fine. Macro column, cool. I like those on the left side. I actually do. No kappa. Weight design, I'm okay with that. It's kind of simple.
Yeah.
Layout support. This looks pretty generic. I'm okay with that. Actually, it seems it supports ISO, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
So it's maybe a little bit less restricted than some boards.
It has a wing keyless version and a standard version as well, just to bear in mind. So the wing keyless version has a 1U blocker on the left and the standard 65% blocker. The standard version just has the standard 65% blocker.
Yes. Design looks pretty simple, pretty minimal. Centered USB-C. Okay, I like that. Oh, it says Tsukiyomi on the weight. This is a prototype, I assume.
It is, yeah. There's 3 or 4 prototypes out there. Yeah, there's one in blue, there's one in black, there's one in white. There's a few out there.
Is there? Okay, it looks fine. I don't know. I don't want to be like mean and say it looks bad because it doesn't look bad, but it looks like a 65% keyboard with a macro column. I like the theme. I will say that, but I don't know. I feel like I'm outdated on commenting about stuff like this these days, especially when I haven't.
It's so long since we've done it.
I haven't really like studied an interest check in a while and like truly formed opinions about it, because I feel like, and I don't mean this in the wrong way, but I feel like there's just so much of like the same thing just like happening over and over again. And it's cool because like there's like nuances and like different designers, and like a lot of them are really cool. And like I imagine this keyboard will be very nice. It'll be a premium keyboard, and a lot of people that get it will like it. But to me, it's not very exciting. But very few keyboards are like truly exciting to me these days.
Yeah, I think if I give some reasons on why I wanted to be the vendor for this one is because I love macro columns first and foremost. Like I love macro columns. I think the name's really cute, and yeah, it's just a generally all round kind of nice, cute design, like the moon and everything else. It's really cute.
Yeah, it looks nice. It looks fun.
Some people asking for the price. The price I think is $440, but that does come with the case. It comes with the weights and everything else, and the board, the PCB, the screws. It also comes with a carrying case and a cloth and everything else that's custom to fit the board inside as well, and custom Kate feet as well. So there's bump-ons shown in the prototype, but it won't be bump-ons. It's some custom designed feet that's going to be used for this as well. So yeah, custom feet and a proper protective hard case as well.
Yeah, so I mean that price seems pretty normal, pretty standard for all that offered. Not too bad. What kind of color options we're looking at here? Navy, white, black, and lilac. Nice. I like seeing lilac.
Yeah, the lilac's.
I like seeing lilac.
Yeah,
and I like seeing really navy. Nice. Oh, my lilac Heine TKL1 coming very, very soon.
Nice.
I'm excited for that. But yeah, I mean it looks like a fine board. I have like no real bad things to say about it at all. It's just not terribly exciting to me either. But that's because it's hard to sell me on keyboards these days, just because there's so many of them.
For you, it needs to be a 60%, right?
Well, sure. I do like 60% more, sure. That is true. But it just needs to like do something that no other keyboard has before. Or like, the typing experience has to be like different. I can't like I want to be able to type on a board and like know it is specifically that board. I need a lot of personality, and maybe it could be. Obviously, I haven't typed on it, so. But yeah, there you go. Some very raw, terrible first impressions.
Vintage top pack covering off a new
vintage
nice.
top pack. Yeah, this is why I don't want to talk about like stuff like this anymore, because I'm okay with like having opinions, but like I feel like people might think I'm just like too mean, like I'm just like BMing people because I just don't really care about a lot of the designs these days, because the things I care about in the community aren't like colors and like aesthetic per se, or like curves and bezel. Like I want typing experience. I want new, invigorating typing experiences. Something that I'm gonna type on and be like, whoa, that's different. Like that's the kind of thing I look for, because I don't really care about like the rest of it as much. And I feel like we have so many boards out in the community, and they're all really nice premium offerings, but they're all kind of the same as well. So
yeah,
there's not
I get you. I mean, like, I think you're right. Like, if you don't already have like a 65% that's classed as good, this might be great for you. If you're relatively new to the hobby, you've not picked up something before, this might be really good for you. Like any board could be. It all depends on where you are in the hobby. Like, you've had dozens and dozens and dozens of boards, Brian. As you say, you're at that point in the hobby now where you're searching out new and exciting typing experiences. So you want to try things like, I know you're excited to try thermal out at some point with the whole leaf spring plate mount. I know we've talked about you trying out one of the lodestone prototypes at some point as well, because you want to try that out.
Magnets,
so there's
baby.
all sorts of different things like that you just really want to try, but it doesn't mean that you're being negative about anything that isn't up your street, because different things are for different people.
Yeah. This looks like a board that will be successful based on what I think the community likes. People like 65%, they like, brass weights, they like premium heavy boards, they like, a lot of them like badges, macro columns.
Macro columns are king for me.
I'm sure it's going to
that's
be
why I'm using the Juby right now. Macro columns.
Yeah, the Juby is super sexy. I'm very, very jealous you have one of those and you're typing on it right now.
Yeah. PCB mount as well. That's the other thing about the Juby. But yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So there you go. There's my terrible first impressions. I mean no offense. There you go. It's a nice. It's a fine board. All right. What are we going back now? Do we have any other vendors we want to check out? Any other links?
I think that was it. I think that was it. No one else suggested anywhere else to check out, and I think we saved the best to last with it being Novel Keys. Sadly, everything Novel Keys has just gone by the time we covered it. But hey, that's how things go on Black Friday sometimes.
That is indeed how things go sometimes. Well, there you go. There is that, guys. So should we move over to a quick Q&A then?
Yeah. I feel like we've talked about all of our sponsors. So just to recap and do this slightly different to how we will usually do it, because we've covered them all separately apart from Mekanisk. Our sponsors are Novel Keys, Mike and gang over at Novel Keys. They do a great job. So thank you very much for sponsors, guys. We've also got Kono Store as well, which we checked out earlier on. They've got some cool things going on, as well as pre-orders and everything else. We've got KBDfans, which they've got all of those, money off vouchers and things like that as well. And of course, we've got the wonderful Leandrin at Mekanisk. So he doesn't have a Black Friday sale, but he does have a load of stuff coming, including the tinned TKL, which you guys will need to check out at some point soon too.
Yes. Yeah.
So there's a whistle stop tour because we talked about vendory stuff all day.
Yeah. That's fine. A quick shout out to Mekanisk, because I've done a couple build streams lately, because Leandrin over at Mekanisk has been kind enough to provide some pretty awesome stuff. So he sent Jay and I the Ultra Hot Fiel, the new color. I'm gonna actually swap back and show this off again. Delightful new color. He sent this over for us to build up. I absolutely love this board. I've been using this for quite a few days now. He also sent the Ultramarine Clippa for me to check out. I built that. That was my most recent build stream. We checked out the I don't think they're actually released yet. The unreleased Mekanisk Ultramarine switches. It's another JWK, but they're actually they're fully pre-lubed, kind of like the Novelty Silks, but with a thinner lube or thinner blend. I'm not sure if it's a blend or not, but it's a thinner lube.
I need to try those out.
I like them because I like the thinner lube. The silks I like a lot as well, but they're 205 grade 0, so they feel a little sluggish to me, just a little slower. These are a little bit more gliding. So this is definitely a thinner. You can feel the difference in viscosity in the lube in these, which I like a lot. Plus they look really nice as well. So
I might have to check them out, and because I got my Iron 180 in this week, my prototype Iron 180, and if I've got enough for a TKL, I might build them in that and try them out in that board. Actually, that might be quite nice.
Yeah. So shout outs to all of our sponsors, guys. We really appreciate everything that they do for us, as well as all of you guys watching. So we're gonna round out our show as we usually do with a Q&A segment. So all the questions that we kind of glossed over and didn't get to answer earlier, feel free to ask again. And if you have new ones, feel free to ask away. We'll probably do a Q&A for a good 15, 20, 25 minutes or so. And we'll try to get to as many questions as we can. Make sure to tag us as well. Use the @TopClack tag. Helps us way more than you might think.
Yeah, just a little bit of a conversation going on between That One Brody and Deathgale around the Tsukiyomi versus the KR2. I think they're very different boards and for very different. I'd buy both for very different reasons. So we haven't covered the KR2 because we're not really doing the news as such. We just wanted to cover Black Friday and show you guys what kind of deals were out there. And we just happened to pick up on the Tsukiyomi board. But the K is a wonderful board. I'm jealous of people that have got in on round 1, and I've seen that round 2's open. But it depends on what you want from a board as to whether that's going to be right for you. And if you want macro columns and you like that kind of aesthetic and you want a 65%, then the Tsukiyomi. If you want a 60% with kind of like a really more premium design and a bit of a higher price point, then go for the K. It depends on what you want. Like, I can't answer that for anyone. I can tell you what my preference would be.
There's no right or wrong choice, right? Like, it's just not how the question works. You're comparing one high-end board with another, and like they're both pretty nice. I would go with the K just because A, I prefer 60%. B, I think the design is a little bit more tailored to me. I like the kind of homage to the HHKB HG edition. Love that, and I love the silver version with the red bottom. My God, I've seen so many pictures of those with like a red half plate as well. Mind blowing. That it just looks so good. It looks so good. People have been like posting them in the Top Clack like pictures channel, and I'm just like,
it does look nice.
Why didn't I get one?
Nice. It does look good. And Biso as well. I've been chatting to Biso on and off on Instagram. We kind of like go backwards and forwards on each other's stories. So he's a really nice guy. He's like genuinely nice. So yeah.
Yes.
Iwane asks as our first question. He says, Top Clack, if you had to eat one Thanksgiving side every night for the rest of your life, what would it be? So I instantly know what my answer is, and I hope you guys have them at Thanksgiving. But I'm going to use our Christmas dinner as our version of your Thanksgiving, because I know you guys do Christmas as well. But that's that we don't have Thanksgiving, so I'm going to pick a side dish from Christmas because that's more relevant to me.
Okay.
So what I'm going to go for is what we call here in the UK devils on horseback, which is little mini sausages wrapped in bacon. I don't know if you guys have that in the US, but you take a little mini sausage, you wrap it in bacon, you cook it in goose fat.
Goose fat, I like that.
Oh yeah, man, goose fat. Yeah, everything at Christmas cooked in goose fat. Your roast potatoes, your little sausages, devils on horsebacks. Yeah, everything like that. Parsnips, turnips, whatever else you want to cook, and you want to, it all goes in. Yeah, goose fat.
Goose fat, duck fat. It's culinary gold. It's like some of the best fats you can cook with. Amazing flavor.
Do you know what the best thing is, though? The best thing is the next morning, which is Boxing Day for us, because I'm using Christmas to Thanksgiving, which is weird. But the next morning is to take all of the kind of like little bits of leftover veg and stuff like that. You get the frying pan out. You put a big dollop of goose fat in there. You let it all melt and you let it all start to swim around the pan. You drop all of the veggies in bit by bit. You fry them up. You drop in some bits of meat, some turkey trimmings, some ham trimmings, whatever else you've got. You add a couple of those devils on horseback at the end as well. You fry it all round and you kind of like compress it together. You get some great potato. You grate the potato on top. You grate some cheese on top of that. Straight into the pan. Don't put it into a bowl first. Just grate it straight into the pan. Cook it through. Man, so good. So good. Crack a fried egg on top of that, and you are good for the day. That gets rid of your hangover.
Yeah, Huey actually, it's called. Huey says this in chat. It's called bubble and squeak, right? When you like that particular type of like technique. This kind of a leftover
Bubble
hash.
and Squeak is a specific dish, which
Oh,
is
is it?
potatoes and cabbage. But yeah, it's that kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the next morning, like you just put everything in a pan, and like you do something with it, like a hash or a frittata or like maybe like a quiche
exactly.
or like some kind of.
I'm getting hungry just thinking about it.
I haven't eaten yet today, and I am so hungry now. I cannot wait to go eat after this. You know, we always wind up talking about food.
Go on. What would your side be if you had to pick a side, Brian? What would it be?
Oh, that's tough. I mean, Thanksgiving. I think Thanksgiving meals here are a lot different in terms of what you see versus your Christmas meal. Like here,
Sure.
it's all about turkey and ham and stuffing and mashed potatoes.
That's
and
Christmas dinner
and...
for us. Yeah, that's Christmas dinner. For
Oh,
us,
is it okay? Yeah, so that's like a lot of the traditional stuff. Man, that's tough. That's so tough. It has to be a side too. So like cranberry sauce or potatoes or stuffing. I think if the stuffing is actually good, like it's not like a crappy like box stuffing, like if the stuffing is actually like legit, a really good like cornbread stuffing, I think would probably be
nice.
mine.
Good choice.
But like there's also mashed potatoes, right? Like mashed potatoes are like a timeless thing, right? Like everyone loves mashed potatoes. So I think that's the easy answer,
Yeah.
but I think stuffing is really my takeaway from Thanksgiving. If it's really
the thing
good.
is though, like with the stuffing, you're right. You've actually hit a gold mine with this. I know we're digressing from keyboards, but you've hit a gold mine with this.
What's
because
new?
you could put with anything. You could put that with anything.
Yeah, it's like a blank canvas.
It goes with anything. You could put it in a sandwich. It goes great. You could put it with pretty much any meal, and it's going to be fine. Especially if it's like hot and cooked. You sprinkle it in pasta, and it adds a bit of flavor to pasta. If you crumble it up, yeah, all sorts of stuff.
Vinsanity says
Okay.
mashed potatoes every day for a year, though. You underestimate my power, good sir.
Think about what you can do with mashed potato. You can put some spring onion in there. You can put some garlic in there. You got herbs and spices in there. You put plenty of paprika in there and have like a spicy variation of it. Dude, there's so much you can do with mashed potato. Like if you think mashed potato is boring, you're doing mashed potato wrong.
Yes, yeah. I roasted a whole head of garlic yesterday. Made some roasted garlic mashed potatoes.
Yes.
Green bean casserole is also a good one. Yesterday, we didn't make green bean casserole, my roommates and I, but we made kind of a take on it. We made kind of a gratin, a green bean gratin, and it was
nice.
It was very nice. Went alongside our very non-Thanksgiving traditional pork shank.
Nothing wrong with a bit of pork shank.
Yeah, we had an
okay.
interesting meal.
Stepping away from food then, Jordison says, are you guys looking forward to any round 2 of any keycaps? There's quite a lot coming up, right? Serica round 2, Striker round 2. Yeah, there's quite a lot of round 2s coming up. Don't know if there's any I'm specifically waiting for, though.
No, I don't think I'm really too interested in any of the ones coming up. Serica would be kind of cool. I actually think Serica is a really nice set.
Yeah, I've got Serica somewhere, I think, from round 1.
I would consider picking up GMK Serica round 2, but aside from that, I don't know. I'm caring less about key set colors these days, so it's like I feel like I should only own like so many GMK sets because I don't really care about the colors as much. So I don't know. I'm not the color person. I'm also partially colorblind for any of you that are new here, so I very openly tend not to care about colors.
Fair enough. Waved Up says, are either of you going for the Tsukuyomi? Yes, I'm getting a personal one. I'm going for the lilac because I'm a sucker for that color.
I am not, because I cannot afford to buy any more keyboard stuff until I find a job.
That's fair, man.
Thanks,
That's
COVID. Appreciate that.
Sean DePaul say one says, have you guys ever seen a board with a tray mount torsion beams like this? So I know what board that is before I even open it up. That's the Gion Works Vanquish, right? Yeah, it is. Yeah, okay. So the answer to that is no, because this is new. This whole mount system is new. This is something that Gion has come up with that is new to him. So I haven't seen anything like it, and I'm excited to try it. Like Gion is doing some great stuff right now.
Okay. I'm gonna swap views here and kind of show this off. I have yet to see this as well, but when you have new mounting styles, I'm automatically interested. This is the kind of stuff that gets me interested in the community, the products rather. So I haven't seen this at all yet, but this seems pretty interesting.
It's basically like a torsion beam, so it's very similar to leaf springs on cars, like the old leaf springs you used to get on rear axles on cars.
Sure.
And depending on where you type, it's going to compress differently and move around differently. So it's really interesting. I think it's going to be potentially really good. Depends on how much it moves and how it feels, but I'm kind of excited for it.
Yeah, this seems super fun. Sign me up.
Yeah, and Gion is really nice as well. I've been speaking to him quite a bit. We're actually trading keyboards. He's going to send me an F1 ATEX, and I'm going to send him a JO2 because we're actually trading a keyboard. But yeah,
nice. So, are they like adjustable? Is that kind of what I'm seeing here? Because some pictures,
so you can
some pictures have like them vertical, and some have them horizontal.
Yeah, so you can put different brackets into different areas. To try and get things to feel a little bit different. So yeah,
fascinating. Okay, so this is cool. This is some keyboard ingenuity, which I very much appreciate. I'm gonna have to look at that a little bit more later. That sounds like some good stuff. All right, the Sky is 256K. Is asking, have you tried the Zombuman Lubrigante open source files? I had one set cut, but the bottom left row has a misaligned side. I can't put my spacebar or the one you switch. Don't know if Cutting Company or Zombu files borked.
So there are a few problems with those files. I've got a laser cutter out in my warehouse. I haven't cut those particular ones, but I have had a look at them in the past, and I think they did need some tweaking and working for when the group buy ran with Home Row Co. I think there are updated files out there if you look in the right place. But yeah, I know there were some issues with them. If you've got any specific questions on them, if you send them over, I'll have a look at the files for you and I'll tell you if it's cut right or wrong. If you just drop me a DM on Discord, and I can have a look at, see how it would cut on my laser cutter and see if it's the same.
A Better Player is asking, what's the deal with hiragana sublegends? As a Japanese person, nobody actually types with Japanese hiragana keycaps. Curious. Aesthetics, I guess. I mean, I think the majority of people that are buying sub-legended keycaps, I don't know if that's a word or not, but I just used it, are buying them for the aesthetics. I don't think people are buying them to actually use as a language. Like, if you're buying Arabic keycaps, like, you know, a lot of people in the US will buy Arabic keycaps, but they're not using them, like, for that actual language.
No, I'm using Arabic keycaps right now, and I don't use them for the language. I just love the aesthetics of them because they look great.
Yeah. Yeah, I have some sub-legend keycaps as well for a lot of languages I don't speak. I only speak English, so I think it's a lot of it tends to just be an aesthetic thing. Like Greek beige. How many people are buying Greek beige like for functionality reasons?
Yeah, it's aesthetics.
Probably nobody. Probably actually nobody. So I don't know. I think hiragana maybe a little. I don't know if it's more purposeful or not because I don't speak or type the Japanese language, so I could not confirm, but I would say aesthetics, absolutely.
Raptorzoz says, any opinions on the Hex 6.C and other Southpaw keyboards in general? Also, what are your opinions on MT3, both PBT and ABS? So Brian, you've got a couple of Southpaw boards, I think, or you've had at least one Southpaw board I'm aware of.
I have had Southpaw boards. Isn't the Hex 6C a 60%, or am I crazy?
I thought it was, yeah. Unless it's slightly different variation.
Maybe I have to look this up again. Hex 6C. I might be like totally stupid and crazy. I thought it was.
Oh no, they did a full size one. Yeah, it was a full size with a Southpaw numpad. Yeah, I didn't realize it done that.
Okay, so it's a full size Southpaw board. So I did briefly own a Southpaw full size. That's actually what the board was called, and I didn't care for that board particularly, just because it had some issues. The group buy process was kind of a nightmare. There were a lot of delays. I think I waited almost like 2 years for that board or something. I don't know. It's not even worth talking about, I guess. But as far as like the aesthetics and functionality go, I like it a lot because Well, I mean, the main reason I like southpaw or left-hand style boards are because I'm a gamer and I use a mouse to game. I play a lot of first-person shooters. I swing my mouse around wildly because I play with both my arm and my wrist. And if a board has too much going on the right side, then I wind up just smacking my hand and/or mouse on the side of the keyboard, and I hate that.
Wait. Let's just go back a second. You move your arm to move your mouse?
In games, sometimes. If you have to, like, flick really quickly behind you or, like, above you or
What?
something.
No, that's just a wrist movement, and I don't game very much, but maybe I'm wrong, but that's just a wrist movement, right?
Well,
like
watch...
my arm is pinned to the desk around here, like where I wear my jumper to, and then everything on the mouse is wrist-based.
Alright,
am I wrong in that?
So it's sort of preference, but I think any competitive gamer will tell you that if you're not using your arm, you're not getting the most value out of your aim.
Wow. Okay. I'd feel weird just being able to use my.
There's got to be a lot of. We have enough people in chat. There's probably quite a few gamers in chat. Let us know, guys. Do you use your arm when you play games as well? Jay's just a boomer, right? We'll just go with that.
Well, I am. I am also not a gamer by any stretch of the word. I'm very casual when it comes to games.
That's totally fair. So yeah, I back to the question though. I think Southpaw is cool. I'm a big fan of that, which is also why I like macro columns and stuff on the left side. I very much appreciate that. The more space I have for my mouse on the right side of my keyboard, the better. Which is another reason I vastly prefer 60%. So we had a combo question here. He's also asking opinions on MT3. Both PBT and ABS.
PBT and ABS. Yeah. So MT3 is nice. What do you think of it, Brian? Sorry.
Yeah, I think the quality is pretty nice on MT3. I think it feels good. The texture is nice. I've only tried the PBT version. I've not tried an ABS version. The sculpt, I think it's really nice if you are like a proper typist, which I am not. And I think it kind of hinders my typing just because of how aggressive the sculpts are for like proper typing, quote unquote. They're modeled after the IBM beam spring caps, so if you're kind of like a vintage enthusiast, that kind of person, you might really appreciate it. It's not a product for me, but I think it's a very cool and nice product.
Yeah, I like the way it hugs your fingertips. It almost feels like the keycaps are hugging onto your fingertips. To begin with, it severely impacted my accuracy, but over time, when I use MT3 and I get into the groove after 20-30 minutes, it increases my accuracy like significantly because my fingers become more accustomed to where the caps are. I've got both PBT and ABS versions. I think the ABS is far superior, but I'm not a huge lover of PBT keycaps in general. So I may be slightly biased on that. Like ABS is kind of what I prefer. I genuinely like them. I've got a few sets in different plastics. I've got the Susu Atari in ABS, and I've got a couple in the PBT. I think there's 2 new ones actually that are running at the moment, or 3 sets that are running at the moment on drop that are in MT3. Camillo is one, and there's a couple of others as well. So yeah, go check them out because it's good quality keycaps. They're nice.
Jadler is asking, what is the difference between JTK, GMK, and Enjoy PBT? Oof.
Different manufacturers.
That's a big one. Yeah, for one, they're all different manufacturers. ePBT tends to specialize in PBT, and a lot of people like their PBT keycaps. They have more recently branched out into double shot ABS, which is what JTK and GMK specialize in. And Enjoy PBT has, maybe seen some mixed results on that. They're not the highest quality. They do have some issues. On the flip side, they're the least expensive option of the 3. In terms of ABS offerings, JTK has certainly gone up a little bit in price as they've kind of improved their quality a little bit. However, in terms of quality, I think GMK probably still reigns supreme, and I think most people would agree that, even though none of them are perfect. I'd agree.
The other thing as well is that JTK are doing more sculpts now as well, so they also have HSA, and they also have triple shot, which is something that neither of the other 2 manufacturers do. So GMK only does double shot, and ePBT does dice sublimated PBT, or they do double shot ABS. But JTK do triple shot ABS as well. So those are the differences between the 3. But effectively, they're just different manufacturers making different keycaps.
Are you
Loads of people calling me out for calling sausages wrapped in bacon as devils on horseback. I think that's a really Yorkshire thing to call them. I do know of them as pigs in blankets as well, which I think most people call them. I think it's a really Yorkshire thing to call it devil on horseback.
I always thought pigs in a blanket was like a sausage or something encased in like a dough, like a bread, like kind of like a.
No, it's wrapped in bacon. Yeah.
Am I crazy? Hold on. Pigs in a blanket. Because out here, no, I'm totally right here.
Maybe this is a UK US difference.
Let me swap viewers just to show. So when I hear pigs in a blanket, this is what I think of. Like this.
Wait, you get different results. Hold on. If I search for pigs in blankets, I get very different results. I'm going to send you an image to show you this. I can't share it with chat, but I can share it in. I think so. If I just search for pigs in blankets, Brian, hold on. Where's our chat?
This is what I've always been raised with as pigs in a blanket.
There you go.
Do I have to
So it's a continental difference between what the US call it and what the EU
I can't open the link in that chat without messing up the cameras on stream because I capture display. You have to link it in chat if you want.
If you open the original one, it'll open in browser, and then you can just move the tab into your browser window and do it from there.
No, but what I'm saying is I can't. If I click on anything in Discord right now, it's going to mess up our cameras.
Oh, is it? Oh,
Yes.
okay, right, fair enough. Okay.
Because I'm doing a screen capture for our cameras. Because Discord does not play nice natively with OBS.
Typical. Yeah. Okay. Right, back to questions then. The next one.
You don't want to talk about food.
Iwade again. He says white on black or black on white. If you could only have one, which would it be? White on black.
Interesting question. Oh, that's tough. I think I agree. I think I'd have to go with white on black. That's tough. That's tough though. PO is asking, speaking of hangover cure, I did manage to find some Iron Brew. Amazon has it here in the US. Oh gosh, Iron Brew. Jay's favorite.
Yep, I love a bit of Iron Brew.
Bringing us back to food. Bringing us back to top snack. Apple cider, not hard cider, or hot chocolate, with or without marshmallows.
Hot chocolate.
Oh, that's tough. I think I gotta go with hot chocolate as well. I'm just kind of like a chocolate fiend. I'm a chocolate whore. I do like a good apple cider though. Especially if it's like really, really like heavy on the spices.
Just scrolling down, there's a lot of chat, but I'm trying to find the questions.
There's actually one right after that. DZ Slasher doesn't tag us, but he asks, what is the general consensus on the Cannon Keys travel bags? Are they worth the money?
Oh, they're really good. Yeah, I use them for the JO2 group buy. Yeah, and I'm using them again for a very similar one to the JO1 group buy. I got my IM1 at 80, my IM165, my TMO 50 in them. Really good. Yeah.
Oh, here's a question. Static Age asking, using keycaps with a language you don't speak just because you like the way it looks. Is that or is that not cultural appropriation? So
this is a difficult one, and
question.
I don't like getting political on the show sometimes because it can be a bit dodgy. But I think it depends, right? That's the honest answer. It really depends on why you're using them, why they're available there, and what the historic purposes for them are. Like, you have always been able to get keycaps with Arabic sublegends on. They have made them over the years. I've got vintage keyboards with Arabic sublegends on. There is nothing wrong with taking those vintage keyboards and trying to recreate the keycaps in a modern profile. That's something that's done for colors. It's something that's done for legends. It's something that's done for 1,001 different reasons. So I think if you're trying to take something that was old and make it modern, I think that's fine. If you're doing it for any kind of personal political reason, then that makes it on a personal level. It's very different. It's one thing when it's a product. It's very different when it's you as an individual doing it for a certain reason. So I don't see it as cultural appropriation personally. Depends on what the motivation is behind it, though. It's a really loaded question. It's a really difficult one to answer.
Yeah, that's pretty tough. That's pretty tough. I can't think of like another answer I would use for that, honestly. I was trying to think of like examples that like would be like similar, like when you eat like Italian food, for example. Like you like Italian food, you eat Italian food, but like you're an American, for example, or like you're Japanese, for example, but you love Italian food. Like, is that cultural appropriation? Probably not.
Yeah, or if you opened up an Italian restaurant because you like to cook, would that be cultural appropriation? I don't think so. I think it all depends on the intent behind it, like and that's often hard to judge. But yeah, it's probably not one for a stream like this. But maybe it's a topic that we can go more in depth to on one of our other shows in the future.
It's a good question though. It is a good question.
It's a good question.
It's just a tough one
there's no straightforward answers. Yeah, it needs a discussion rather than a specific answer, I think.
Yeah.
Loads of people use their arms for playing video games.
Including Alex Odos, the only person that matters. So, sorry, Jay, you're just a boomer. No, I'm just kidding. I used to be the same.
I'm a console gamer, so
no. Well, when I started playing PC games, I was the same way. I only used my wrists, and I realized that like I wasn't able to do a lot of the things that a lot of higher level players were able to do in game. And I was like, why can't I do that? And a friend of mine was like, you got to use your arm, and I was like, oh. Okay, and ever since then I haven't looked back. So I mean, some stuff you do with your wrists, but like the wider movements where like you have to like swing and like look somewhere very different. Like you can't just do it with your wrist fast enough unless you play on like a really high sensitivity, which of course decreases your aim and your accuracy. So I'm just a gaming I'm a gaming nerd and I like competitive titles.
Nothing wrong with that, man. Nothing wrong with that. Jonathan says, you say you are a gamer. What switches are you using, lubed or not? So I guess this one's for you, Brian, because I distinctly put myself in the non-gamer camp.
Hey, I saw you in a specific gamer chat in a specific Discord recently, so I assume you're a gamer.
Well, yeah, but I'm very much a console gamer, so I play a lot of Destiny 2, and I do play it on PC, but I play it through Steam with a controller sat on my couch in my home snug. So, like, yeah, I'll be on Discord on the PC, but I'll be using a controller. I don't keyboard and mouse with games very often.
For sure.
Yeah, like it's just not
the switches I'm using right now, ironically enough, because I think this is kind of a troll question, because I think people are expecting people to say creams because of Tifu's keyboard.
Or cherry reds, because that's what every gaming keyboard's sold with.
Yeah, I mean, so there's obviously a lot of memes there. What's kind of ironic is I'm actually using creams right now. I'm using lubed creams in my Fiel, and I have been gaming on it for the last little while since I built it. So, but with that said, I don't really discriminate against switches. I'll use pretty much any switch to game. I have no trouble with that. Some I think are a little bit of a hindrance when it comes to gaming. I don't really like gaming on Topra. Sometimes I try to like float keys, so I can actuate them sooner in games. But with Topra, it's a lot harder to do that. So I just prefer not to use Topra for gaming. Same things with like really heavy tactiles that are almost more parabolic, and they have the like very little pre-travel. The bump starts almost immediately, sort of like Zelios V2. I can very easily game on them, but I tend to just prefer linears. And I tend to prefer like the kind of medium to heavyweight range of linears, so I don't accidentally get any accidental key presses. So yeah, I like medium to heavy linears for gaming. Creams, memes aside, I think creams are a great switch for gaming, sure. But I think things like gaming switches don't really exist, right? Like you could argue like speed switches might be better, but at the end of the day, no pro players are actually using speed switches anyways, or very few.
Sure. Yeah. I completely get that. Super's Tasty actually says if you're smashing into your keyboard, you've got mega sensitivity issues. I don't know. I don't play games with a keyboard and mouse, but I do a hell of a lot of productivity stuff with keyboard and mouse, and even I still sometimes bash into the keyboard with my mouse. So, I think that's a universal.
I don't know. I don't think it's a very uncommon thing. I play on like a pretty, as far as competitive gaming is concerned, I play on a pretty medium sensitivity. Not too fast, not too slow. A lot of pro players play on much slower sensitivities than I do. Some play on higher. But yeah, like you want low sensitivity, so when you need to aim, you can aim a lot more carefully. But that means that your movements have to be bigger to get quicker turns, right? Instead of having to just gently flick your wrist to turn around, all of a sudden now you have to kind of move your whole arm to turn around, and it's a trade-off. But at the end of the day, that's high-level gamers, especially in first-person shooters. That's how they tend to play. No one plays on crazy high DPI and sensitivity and just uses their wrist as a pro. That's just like almost unheard of.
Okay. Just scrolling through because there's a load of comments. I'm just trying to find the actual questions. D Nasties says the dough one is definitely what I've heard. So I think this is going back to the pigs in blankets. So it says today I learned thanks.
Yeah, American versus British thing.
T-Witch says pig and bacon and dough equals everyone happy. Agree. Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, why not? More food. Just put more food in my mouth. Cheeky is asking.
Go on. Yeah, go on.
Oh, did I skip one?
Yeah, I was going to say that Draxian said, "Did you guys join the IM180?" Yes, I did. I've got mine in the warehouse behind me. Yeah, it came the other day. Build stream Sunday.
Yeah, I did not, but I am fortunate enough to also have an Iron 165, and I love it. It's definitely one of the best boards I've ever used, and it's one of my favorites. But yeah, I much prefer a 65% to a TKL, so I'll keep the Iron 165 over the Iron 180. But I'm sure that the 180 is going to be spectacular as well. One TV forgets to tag us, but I do want to address this question. He says, you said Gatoron yellows are good for budget. Are those the regular Switch or the ink yellows? We were referring to the regular ones. The ink yellows are an entirely different breed of Switch.
Yeah.
So yeah, just the standard Gatoron yellows. You'll know they're standard because they'll be like around 20 cents a Switch. Sometimes a little bit more expensive, sometimes less if you know where to look.
Yeah. Cheeky YSHD says, just got the mode 80. Any recommendations for the build you have or tips with it in general? I saw that you did do a build, Jay. Yeah, go back and watch my build stream if you want. I had some thoughts on it and question some of the design choices and things like that. I think the trick is to be careful when you're putting it together and assembling the board afterwards. You kind of have to rock the base in. You can't just put it in flush, so you have to rock it in. And it is quite tight to compress with the way that they've done the mounting for the foam. So don't be afraid of putting a little bit of pressure in there. Tighten up your screws one by one and go across the board, and then work your way back and keep going until the screws are fully tightened. But just take it slow, take it steady. It's a relatively easy build.
Jornison is asking a question that we kind of already covered. He's asking, as a gamer, what switches do you use? How are they set up? So we kind of just got done talking about that. I do like lube switches as well, but medium to heavy linears for my gaming experience. But I'll game on those things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Next question from Luna Summer says, do you have any tips on lubing stabs with GPL 205 grade 2? Should I go thick or thin? So I do use GPL 205 G2. This is what I use. I have a full tub of it. This is what I use. My thoughts on this are that on the wire you want to put it on quite thick. You don't want to overdo it, but you want to put it on quite thick on the wire itself, and then put the wire into the housing, and as long as you've got plenty of lube in there, it's good. I like to put a little bit of lube in the back of the housing as well, so on the stem part that rises out, there's usually a little square hole. You can put some more lube in there as well. Where I go really thin with it is just on the sides of the sliders. So I put a really thin coating on the sides of the sliders. So thick on the wires, thin on the sliders is how I like to do it.
Yeah.
But your result may vary, so try it yourself.
That's exactly how I do it as well. Still scrolling, guys. Preference heart, says Alex Odos. Heck yes. Preferences. Our hobby is built upon them. January is asking Jay, what headphones are those?
These are the Sony XM4s. I do have some XM3s I'm going to send to Brian at some point when I get around to it. I upgraded to these about 2 months ago. Really, really good quality headphones. The noise cancelling on these is insane. So when I'm working in the workshop and I've got my laser cutter going, the 3D printers going, everything else, these are great. Yeah, fantastic. Really recommend them.
Charlie Rangel is asking, what is your opinion on Browns? Which ones do you mean?
Brown Alps? They're great. They're amazing. Brown Alps are fantastic.
Yeah, SKCM Brown Alps, very popular. I'm assuming maybe he means Cherry MX Browns, arguably the most ubiquitous brown.
Yeah, well, you can take this as you like, and you can make your own opinions off this. But my TGR Jane V2 is built with MX Browns.
I feel like MX Browns went through like this weird transition since I've been in the hobby. I mean, mainstream-wise, like on gaming keyboards and OEMs, they've always been one of the most popular, if not the most popular Switch, right? It's wildly accessible. A lot of people use them. A lot of people like them. I feel like it. Interestingly enough, it was the Switch that got me into the community. The Poker 2 with MX Browns. I got the Poker 2 like pretty much like near when it first came out, and I had it with MX Browns, and that board was just delightful. It was my first 60%. It was so nice, and that definitely led me into the keyboard community. But once I started discovering other Switches, I started liking the MX Browns a lot less. And then like somewhere in 2015, 2016, I feel like people really started to hate on MX Browns, like really, really hard. And it became like a meme in the community. And then like ever since like 2018, 2019, I feel like they're starting to make a comeback now. And people are like, yeah, 55 gram lubed or vintage MX Browns.
The thing is,
it's like,
right, whether the community as a whole laughs at something or not is kind of irrelevant.
It is irrelevant.
Like, if you like something, you like it, so you use it. That's my advice.
Yes,
don't
absolutely.
go by what other people say. If you like something, don't think, oh, I shouldn't like this and therefore I'm not going to use it. Use it because you like it, not because other people tell you not to use it. I just think that you should make your decisions based on what your preferences are, rather than on what other people's preferences are.
Yeah, for me, but he did ask what our opinions are, so we'd be remiss if we did not provide our actual opinions. So I don't like them. I think they can be alright, but I don't really care for them. I think if I'm going to use a tactile Switch, even a mild tactile Switch, I'll probably look for different options. But that's just me. With that said, I actually have some vintage MX Browns on the way.
I mean, that's what the ones I'm using are from 1994, I think. But yeah, I mean, they're fine. They're not amazing Switches. They're not terrible Switches. They're just fine. They're okay.
Yeah. For what it's worth,
I do have another build for that board with inks in, so like I can switch out the plate if I need to.
Yeah. For what it's worth, I don't really care about any Cherry Switches personally. The Hyperglides, I'm very interested to try out because those I feel like could have a lot of potential. But as far as their standard lineup, I'm less than thrilled about Cherry Switches.
Yeah. Next one from Trojam711. He says, any tips for the E8.5? I think you built one on Jay on a build stream. Yeah, I've still got that board, actually. I'm going to give it away at some point, I think, because I got it for free, so I want to pass that on at some point. My board's slightly different to the Western group buy. I've got one of the prototypes from the original Chinese group buy. So there's some significant differences. The main one being that the weight on the back, the badge on the back on mine screws in. On the Western group buy, it was just milled into the surface of the board. So it's fine. It's an easy build. It's a really simple board to put together. Go back and watch the stream. You can watch it step by step. But yeah, it's a really nice board. I genuinely think it's really lovely. Mine's in pink and black and white, and I put Olivia on it, and it looks great.
Nice. Hue is saying wasn't that impressed with Hyperglides. Ooh, that doesn't make me very hopeful. Charlie,
I haven't tried them yet.
Charlie follows up by saying Hyperglides disappointed me sound-wise. That's unfortunate because that was like one of the big things that Cherry had going for them was the fact that their Switches tended to sound better than a lot of the others. So very, very interesting. Now I'm not quite as hyped to try Hyperglides, and that makes me a little sad.
Hey man, we just talked about preferences, right? You might like them when you try them.
It's totally true. It's totally true. Yeah.
Draxian bought 480 of them. There you go.
I feel like I tend to be a lot more critical on Switches than most other people, though. So like, if other people are already disappointed, like, sure, maybe I'll like them, but it doesn't leave me a ton of hope. But yeah. Anyways, I think we are actually caught up on questions.
Yeah, it looks like we are.
Yes, I've completed my scrolling. Which is nice. Oh, never mind. Scrubby Sean comes in. He says, came kind of late. Jay knows all about that. So you might have already talked about this, but what do you guys think about the upcoming Vega group buy? I've been asked this quite a few times already. I think the Vega is going to be a very successful board. I have full faith in AIO3. I've really appreciated all of his designs so far. I think he's very talented. I think the Vega is going to be stellar. I think it's going to be very nice, very popular. And it's going to have no problem selling.
Yeah, if it doesn't sell 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 units, I'd be very surprised. It's going to do really well.
Yeah. I have a Polaris. I built it not too long ago. I've used it quite a bit. I love it. I think it's a really, really neat board, and I think the Vega will probably be as good or better.
Yeah, I've still got a Polaris somewhere. I've got mine is green.
You have a green
Yeah, it's a nice
one?
board.
Okay.
Green and brass. Yeah.
Do you want a blue one? You want to trade?
No, I'm good, thanks. I'm good.
Darn
I like
it.
my green.
All right.
My Iron 1/8 is actually green as well. So when that came in the other day, that's in green as well. So I'll be building that on Sunday. And shameless plug, we're doing it as part of the Alex Otos and Max F's live charity events. They're doing kind of like a keyboard marathon, and they're getting some other streamers to help out. So Top Clack will be participating in that through my build stream on a Sunday. It's going to be a slightly earlier than usual. It's not going to be an 8 p.m., 3 p.m., noon UK EST, PST start time. It's going to be slightly earlier than that, but I'll communicate all of that tomorrow on an announcement in the Discord. So watch out for that, because Iron 180 build stream, pretty cool.
Yes, that's pretty big hype. Make sure you check that out, guys. We got a couple more questions. We'll do a couple more before we head off for the night, guys. Hot Trout doesn't tag us, but he says, having not used them, how would you explain the Novel Keys cream switch when compared to linears like Tangerines, Telios, etc.? To me, all three of those are very different switches.
Yeah.
You know, the newer Tangerines, they're a JWK switch if you get the V2, so it sort of performs a lot like the other JWK switches from what I've seen. So it's, you know, not terribly expensive. How much are V2 Tangerines? Are they like in line with all the other JWKs? They're like a bit pricier.
Standard JWK pricing, yeah. I think, yeah.
Okay, so maybe they're a little bit cheaper than the other options. Telios are what I think are the best linear overall. I think they're just very consistent. The tolerances are really nice. They're incredibly smooth, and they look pretty nice as well. And despite what a lot of people say, I do think they can sound very good given the right situations. Creams, I think, have a lot of personality. I like creams a lot, even though they might fundamentally not be quite as good as some other options. But I guess the real question is, how do you explain creams compared to Tangerines and Telios?
They're just a different linear, aren't they? They're almost like their own thing.
It has
Hot Trout. Do you know what, Hot Trout? I'm just going to send you some, because you're not too far away from me. I'm just going to send you 2 cream switches, 2 Tangerines and 2 Telios, and you can try them out, because they're just a different switch. The sound profile's quite different. They feel quite different because of different materials.
The palm on palm is a different
comparison.
feel versus palm on, polycarbonate nylon blends, for example. Palm on palm is an entirely different feel, and you definitely notice it. But I think the sound that it produces is quite nice. I think that's one of the big selling points for me on the creams, is how they sound. King Friday is asking, what is successful currently, assuming unlimited and in Vega price range?
Oh man, I'm so far out of touch with most of the group buys that are happening these days since we stopped being in the news that I have no idea. Very few group buys are unlimited, so unlimited.
I
don't know if I'm honest.
Price range. Sheesh. Yeah, I couldn't think of anything off the top of my. There's so, like Jay mentioned, there's so much going on. Like if you daily browse Geek Hack, like group buys, like you're gonna see like a lot of stuff. Interest checks and group buys, you're gonna see a lot upcoming. So that's What is the Vega price range though? Is it going to be like fairly budget? Like
I think it's relatively cheap. It's like $350 or something, $350, something like that. I think. I don't know. I could be way off there. But I think it's like $350 or so. Yeah.
Okay. Another question: what do you guys think of the Aurora by Oblotsky? I don't think I've seen the Aurora yet.
It's okay. Like I've had a look at it. It's okay. It's not one for me, but it's fine board. Yeah, it's nice. If you get it, I'm sure you will not be disappointed in it at all. Yeah.
I have yet to see this. It looks like a 65%.
That's exactly what it is.
I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm sure it's very nice. But it's another premium 65% by the look of it, which is
I mean,
really
it's just
cool,
a nice wedge shape. It's got the nice the nice bar across the back that goes underneath like a weight. It's fine. Yeah, it's nice.
It kind of reminds me.
I think Salvin's manufacturing, so they're going to be good quality. That's the good thing.
That's cool. Salvin manufacturing. Love to see that. I see his logo on the inside there. That's nice. It kind of reminds me of some LZ 65%, like looking at the side profile. It looks nice.
It's fine board. Yeah, it'll be fine
just like
board.
we talked about the Tsukiyomi earlier. I bet this will be a very nice 65% offering. I'm just not that interested in it personally. No KB in chat says it's definitely a keyboard.
It is definitely a keyboard. Yeah,
it certainly is. I'm sure it'll be a nice one. Wilba PCB. Yeah, you love seeing that. I like Wilba's work. All right, very nice. All right, well, I think that should do it for our stream today. Looks like we're caught up again. So now's probably a good time to head out before we get too caught up and go over 3 hours, which we try not to do these days.
This is the longest stream we've had for a while, actually.
We've been pretty good.
Nice. I've really enjoyed it. It's been good fun, and thank you to all the folks that stuck around, joining us from Nathan Kim's stream as well. So thank you very much, guys, from Tay Hey Types.
Yes.
Nice to have you here. Yeah.
So guys, if you check below the stream, you can find a link to a lot of our outlets. You can come hang out with us on our Discord. You can check out our YouTube channel where we have pretty much all of our VODs and such posted. They go up after the streams a little bit later, so you can come check that out and join our Discord and have a good time. Talk about your favorite salsas or keyboards, or we can talk more about
your favorite Thanksgiving side dishes.
Yeah, we can argue pigs in a blanket. It'll be a really good time.
Fine. So. And watch out on the Discord server for announcements of my build stream supporting Max and Alex Otos for charity over the weekend as well. I'll put all the announcements and I won't do a ping, but I'll put announcements up in the Top Clack channel tomorrow morning, so you guys will know what time that's happening on Sunday. But it will be a little bit earlier than usual.
Nice. So yes, make sure to come check that out on this channel that you're already watching. So there you go. I'm looking to see who we're gonna raid here. So if you see me looking intently at something, that's why.
Yeah, who's online that we can raid? Who is online?
I don't know. I'm looking right now. We don't normally stream at this time, so I don't really know like what's going on.
Yeah, no one's online. Like no one I know is online.
Hold on. I don't see anyone. Let's check makers and crafting. Are there any keyboard people online right now?
Come on, guys. You tell us. Is there any keyboard people online? Because I can't see anyone.
I see two people I've never heard of. Stray Chroma and Mekanisk. They're both building.
Let's go
keyboards.
For Stray Chroma because that was the first one that you saw.
Stray Chroma. She's building. So it looks like she's building a Switch Couture Frosted Alice by the name of the title. So we'll go with that. Stick around for the raid, guys. We'll pay it forward. Thanks once again to Teha Types. I don't know if you're still here, Nathan, but it was good to see you, man, and thanks for the raid. All right, Stray Chroma, makers and crafting. There we go. All right, guys.
Nice.
Let's get this raid started, and hopefully you guys had a great Thanksgiving. If you're, want someone that celebrates that holiday, and have a great rest of your weekend, guys.
Yeah, and say something wholesome to Stray Chrome when we go raid him as well, guys.
Say something
and
wholesome.
Check out the build stream on Sunday. I am 180.
You can straight up say something wholesome, and that's good enough. But if you have something wholesome to say, feel free to say that as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're new to the channel, hopefully you guys enjoyed the kind of content. We like to do really chill streams, a lot of discussion, build streams as well. So lots of stuff going on.
Cool. Right, guys.
Let's
see you later
for this raid. Yes. Raid time, ladies and gents. Have a good one, guys.